And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every Sunday. I am your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Real Verse World. Today I have my homie Cal Scruby on the podcast, which is actually really tight for me because he is my first musical guest. Cal is a rapper, songwriter, originally from Columbus, Ohio, and is now living in Los Angeles, California. His story is really crazy. He's had millions and millions of plays on all of his songs and videos, including his biggest record to date titled Ain't Shit Changed, featuring Chris Brown, which I actually edited the music video and shot all the drone footage swag. But nothing has come easy for Cal, and he's still working day and night to achieve his goals. In this interview, we talk about how Cal grew up on a farm listening to rap, how later in college he decided to give up being an engineer major to focus on music, and how he was able to get the entire state of Ohio to fuck with him on a big level. Cal even shares a story about one of the lowest points in his life when he had considered giving up on rap, but by chance was given the golden ticket, which took him from rapping for fun in Ohio to landing in a studio session in LA with Chris Brown and Drake. Like, what the fuck? Life can change in the blink of an eye, people, and Cal is a clear example of that. I'm proud of Cal, and I'm excited for you to hear all of this and more on the Black with No Cream podcast today. If it's your first time tuning into the Black with No Cream podcast, you're probably wondering, what does Black with No Cream stand for? Black with No Cream is a content creator group fueled by caffeine, or at least I take my coffee black with no cream, but you can drink or not drink whatever caffeine you fuck with and still be a part of our community. We are a private group on Facebook open to creators of all kinds, aka if you make videos, or you're a photographer, if you're a musician, if you do marketing, management, etc., etc., etc. All creators are welcome. Our private group has been growing rapidly. We have a shit ton of members working together, sharing content, asking for feedback, passing tips and tricks along to one another with the goal of pushing each other to become the best motherfucking content creator on earth. And you can join the group if you want to by going to blackwithnocream.com/join. We would love to fucking have you. Please join. If you're interested in supporting Black with No Cream, please go to blackwithnocream.com/merch. We have hats, shirts, stickers, pins, and shit. All kinds of shit available in the store. I appreciate anyone who picks up some merch. If you don't have the funds, I totally get it. There's another way you can support. Obviously, share a link to the podcast with as many people as you can. And please hop on iTunes and leave us a review. Every review helps this podcast grow and helps me as a host understand what you guys want. I appreciate you. All right, that's it. Enjoy the work week. Keep creating. Make sure to tune in every Sunday for a new Black with No Cream podcast. And without further ado, I bring to you my interview with Cal Scruby and the most epic podcast intro ever created right motherfucking now!
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time,
you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that.
Do you think we should do the whole podcast without breaking eye contact? Do you think you can do it? Somebody loses, you have to lose.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another podcast right now. I have my boy Cal Scruby, a.k.a. Cal Scruby, a.k.a. Scott. What was the other one we wanted to do?
Scurvy.
Scurvy.
Yeah, I was going to make a little... We're not going to do it, though. It doesn't matter. That joke is for us, not for you. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing, Cal?
I'm good.
Yeah?
That's it.
That's it?
That's the end of the podcast.
All right, so Cal is one of my best friends out in California. He is a rapper. He is a songwriter. He has done a lot of cool shit. He's from Ohio, and now he lives in LA, and we're in my kitchen recording this podcast with 2 cameras shooting 4K for the first time. I haven't done that yet.
First time. So he saved it for this one.
Yeah, I saved it for this one, so it was important. But, yeah, so this is cool. I'm glad you're on this shit. You're my first musical artist.
Hell yeah, I'm honored.
You're my first musician.
I say musician to like Uber drivers.
You do?
Yeah, because I don't want to just be like, yeah, I'm a rapper, and then they're like, oh, I make beats. I'm just saying, I'm a musician, and I can take it wherever I want. I can play the fiddle.
Yeah, they're probably thinking fiddle. They're probably like, oh God, I don't want to.
This guy obviously plays fiddle. Like that's when you look at me, you're like, this guy plays fiddle.
For sure, yeah. I think it's fiddle is what I would assume when I see you at church. That guy plays fiddle.
Yeah,
probably pretty good.
No doubt.
So Cal makes music. He has been rapping for how long? How long have you been rapping for?
Like 5 years.
5?
Yeah.
Professionally?
I don't know. Like, it wasn't even professional until like the Chris record and shit.
Really? You think so?
That's how it felt to me. Like, I don't know. 5 years, I guess. I've been rapping for 5 years.
Cal has a song. I would say it's probably your most played song. Obviously, it's hard to beat that. But he has a song with Chris Brown. called Ancient Change, which was that on the House on the Hills EP?
Yes.
House on the Hills EP, which was it's like a year, over a
2
year.
years ago.
Like 2 years ago? Fuck.
I know.
Damn.
I know we're old.
I shot that album artwork. I'll post it in the show notes, but I shot the album artwork.
And the videos for the promo with the drone.
Oh yeah, shit, we did the promo. Damn, we went up in the hills. We went up this house in the hills and did like a little drone. I don't even think it was before boomerangs. I don't know if it was a boomerang.
No, no.
It was just like a cool pull out.
It was when you
selfie.
first got the drone too. You didn't really know
what I was gonna do. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But we did that.
Basically, I started Ben. I'm the reason that Ben. All right, no, I'm not. But whatever.
I edited your Ancient Change video, which was cool.
You did. That was like your first big video.
That was my first time editing a real technically editing music video.
I'm the reason you're successful.
Yeah, I mean, I edited a bunch of like little music videos before that, but this was like the first large scale, it's got to be right type video. But anyway, yeah, so Cal's got a song with Christopher Brown. That's cool. Cal has two. Oh yeah, all right. So let me get to that. Cal also has written the record that ends the documentary that me and Andrew edited and Andrew directed for Chris Brown. At the very end of the whole fucking movie, you can hear Cal rapping and then Chris singing.
Yeah.
Oh god damn it! Did my light just go out?
It's all right. We're not that pretty, anyways. We don't. No one.
Did we just let it go? Should I look and see if this like looks terrible? Damn, that's such a bummer. My light. Sorry, guys, if you're just listening to this. All right, fuck it. Let me fix this light real quick, and now you guys know that this is available on YouTube. Pause. All right, we're back. I'm sorry. Basically my light is a piece of shit, and this is my kitchen, which is kind of fitting because it's like we're having coffee, black with no cream. We're in the kitchen.
That makes sense.
I just don't have all the gear that I should have to be doing this.
I feel like an offensive coordinator.
What the fuck are you talking
about?
Like
I'm on the sideline in football. Like I'm like.
Oh yeah, like a coach.
Green 57, gut shot, streak,
and then you win the Super Bowl.
And then we score.
Cool.
That's the end of it.
We do look like that. These headphones are fitting though. I like these headphones because if I like look over to the left or the right, the mic follows me.
I'm a righty though. It's a.
Well, I could have flipped the headphones for you, bro.
Too late now.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, he's got at the end of Chris's documentary, Cal has this. What was that song called? Welcome to my motherfucking life.
Which is the name of the documentary.
Yeah, it's the name of the documentary. You can watch it on Netflix. Selfish plug. We're on Netflix.
Shameless plug.
We'll talk about that later. So anyway, yeah. So Cal's had some success out in California. Had success early on, but I don't even want to get to that. I want to go even earlier than that. So you didn't start rapping until 5 years ago, but what were you doing early on and growing up and shit? Like what was life like for you in Ohio and getting creative?
I mean, I was part of the generation that like didn't get phones until we were in high school. Mm-hmm. Even when we did, it was like Snake for sure, and the paper airplane game, whatever.
That was fun.
So I did what other kids my age did, which was like go to the pool, play kick the can, that kind of shit. But when I was in 5th grade, I moved to the country. So then,
oh my god, I'm so trash. My dad's trying to call me.
We should answer.
No, fuck it. Answer it.
We should answer.
All right, hold on. Let me see. My dad just got done being Santa Claus at our hometown like gathering.
His dad is Santa Claus.
2,000 people there. Hey, Dad, what's up?
You never played in front of that many people.
I never did play. He's talking about my music career.
Trolling
Dad,
you.
You're on my podcast right now.
Well, what I was referring to is you never played in front of that many people that I did tonight as Santa Claus.
He was saying that.
Your dad's stunning.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 people at this town, like our town, like our local thing.
5 or 7,000.
5,000 or 7,000?
Yeah.
They heard he was playing Santa this year.
Dad, I'll call you when I get done with this podcast.
No, I want to be on your podcast.
No, it's over for you, champion. Later. My dad has been saying, oh shit, I don't know if I should say this. This is not public knowledge, but he plays.
He could be a
every
target
once in a while, but he might be the double too. There might be multiple people coming in. He's just playing Santa to be like the security guard for Santa. Like sometimes he comes.
Oh
in,
yeah.
You know,
kind of like when Trump had his wife, but it wasn't really his wife a couple weeks ago. She had like the big ass glasses, but it wasn't really her.
So my dad does it, but every year they come out crazy.
Just so
Santa.
If he gets killed, it's not the real Santa.
Yeah, it's not the real Santa.
Yeah,
but and there's no kids list. I don't think my demo's that young yet. But
yeah.
Anyway, he comes out and does this ridiculous reveal to the town as like tonight. I think he came out on a drone. Like a drone flew up in the air and he was on it. I swear to God, I'll find videos. I'll put it in the show notes. I swear. He comes out, does this whole shit. It's crazy. Like every year they try to trump it.
Ah.
All right. Anyway, let's get back to this. So yeah, go on. Early days, you were playing kick the can.
Oh yeah, and then I moved to the country when I was in like 5th grade with my family. So then it was like.
But where were you born?
I was born in Kansas, but I only lived there for like 9 months.
Okay.
And then I moved to Ohio, just because my dad like got a job there or something.
Yeah.
And then so then I moved, and my family life was kind of like on the farm, down on the farm.
Did they farm? They were farmers?
No, I mean
They just
my mom does like the garden thing. My mom's a true green thumb gardener.
Right.
But we had like a barn and shit. And then so like people would board their horses there, so they would like keep their horses there because they didn't have a barn.
So were you guys responsible for the horses?
Yeah, like they would. But really, the reason my parents wanted it is so that they would just eat the grass, like in the pasture, so that we didn't have to mow it. Because they had like my parents had like 5 acres. So.
Damn.
So yeah, they just didn't want to mow that shit because they're lazy.
So you grew up out kind of in the. I grew up kind of.
Yeah, it's just quiet. You can like see stars and stuff. It's kind of cool.
I know you miss that shit when you're out here.
I
huh?
do.
So then what? Like in high school and shit, you weren't you never rapped in high school or like played shows, or did you do music shit at all?
No, I mean I play recorder.
Be damn serious with me, right?
I did. I played recorder. I remember
No,
my
you
teacher.
did not.
Well, I mean we all did. Did you not do that?
Like one class, I think you learned. Okay, but yeah, I guess you're right. I play recorder too.
Yeah,
Damn.
fucking give me 5 minutes. I'll play hot cross buns on a recorder. I'll kill it. Yeah. Maybe when the Saints go marching in.
Oh yeah, we definitely played that song.
No, I had no like musical talent really. I mean, I loved music. Like I only rap really. I mean, I like other genres of music, but like I only listen to now, and I only listened to rap growing up. So like. If you told me you would give me $1 million if I named like a single Coldplay record, I seriously could not tell you one.
Damn.
Or fucking Dave Matthews Band.
Nah, I never listened to him.
Nah, but you know what I'm saying? Like all my friends were going to those concerts growing up, and I was like, nah.
Everyone went to see Dave.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't appreciate it. I just don't. I like if you played one, I might be able to sing along like the most popular one.
Right.
But I don't know what it's called.
So then what were you writing? Were you doing creative writing classes, or what were you like? Somehow you are a great writer. That's what I'm saying.
I wanted to be a journalist from the point that I was like in fourth grade. Excuse me. I did this like project when I was in 4th grade about Pokey Reese. He was the second baseman for the Reds, and my teacher was like, "Hey, you're a really good writer." You know, I was in 4th grade, which means I probably sucked, but I was just better than all those other idiots.
Yeah, you kept her more interested on Saturday night.
Right. So I just kind of like the next year I was like writing a little newsletter for our little 3-class group, you know, and so I was just kind of like making up whatever story, like whatever was in the news. So it was like the Olympics or something. I remember writing something about the Olympics. So I wanted to be a journalist like all the way up through high school and everything, because nobody in Ohio is like, hey, you can be a entertainer or a performer or a dancer or nobody told me I could write like comedy scripts or anything. They're like, oh yeah, you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, journalist, teacher. So you have to like be a newscaster or a sports journalist or whatever. So I'm like, I guess I'm gonna do that shit.
You study that shit in high school and college?
I didn't study it. I only applied to Ohio State and Ohio University, and OU I would have gone to Scripps, which is like their school of journalism. So, but I just felt like that was putting me in a box too much. So I was like, nah, fuck that.
So what college you end up going to?
Ohio State.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, going throughout high school and shit, were you still continuing this like journalism itch, like you were doing, you know, like the school newspaper? Were you doing all that shit?
No, I wasn't. I didn't do any of that shit. I just wrote like I remember I had a teacher named Miss Borden in like my junior and senior year. She was the government teacher, and we had to do like current events every week, and you had to write like 200 words or something. But I would just write like 1,000 words because I would just like clown on it like real hard. But she was younger, so she was cool. Like she accepted the fact that I was putting in a lot more work, just even though I was like being a little bit inappropriate sometimes with like the things I was saying. Yeah, you know. But she like let it go because she knew I was putting in way more work than like anybody else was. I just did it because I liked doing it.
I was gonna say you were actually having fun with it. Huh?
Yeah,
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
then what in college? Because 5 years ago.
In college, I was an engineering student, and that shit was all really fucking difficult. Like I got to a level in like the math and everything where I didn't have the passion for it anymore. So it was like learning everything naturally to that point, I could do it. But then like past that, I was just like, no, I have to care too much for this, and I just didn't care enough.
So what the fuck do you do?
So I would like study for exams. I would like pull all-nighters for exams and I would take like an Adderall and play beats and to like study really hard, and then I would end up just writing music. So like I'm like 21. I'm like 21 years old, and I like I remember playing like a Lil Wayne beat or something. I can't remember which one it was, but like I started writing. I think it was from the Nightmares at the Top, the one that's like sleep and find the bottom, nightmares, whatever.
Yeah.
That one. So I think it was that one. I started writing like lyrics to it, and then eventually I would like rap some of these raps to my friends when I was drunk. And they're like, yo, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I was like, Ty?
Hey, you think I could be a journalist?
I was like, yeah, you could be a
really
news
good
anchor.
Stories.
Could I be the rapping news anchor?
Did you ever consider that, though, before engineering? Because engineering, that's random.
Consider what, rapping?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
But I mean, no, not rapping, sorry. Journalism. Like,
yeah.
So were you thinking about that? Because you took engineering.
Not like, no, once I got to school, once I got to college, I was like, I guess I'm going to do engineering. Because I feel like when you're younger, or at least from the Midwest, like since we weren't like taught that we could do whatever the fuck we want, not exactly. I think that you feel like whatever you're naturally good at, you take for granted because you feel like you're like, I do this without trying, so it's not that important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of ignored the fact that I was a good writer and that I liked doing it, and instead I did something that was challenging for me, which was like math and physics and shit like that.
Which is funny because even if you like continue writing in music, that's still a challenge, like an extreme challenge.
Oh, especially now, you know, like once you like realize that it's like a career and you care way more than you did when it was just like half-assed for fun, being drunk,
right?
Shit, like it gets a lot more serious.
Were any of your friends play music?
My one buddy Daniel played guitar and shit, and he like sings. He still plays like with his band and shit. He lives in Nashville, but his dad like had a little setup in his basement. So I remember because he was the one that introduced me to rap in like 4th grade. I was listening to like Backstreet Boys shit before that, you know.
Of course.
And then I remember like the two. I don't know which one came first, but like the two biggest rap songs that I knew first. He stole his sister's CD from her car one night when I was sleeping over there, and he played Rough Riders Anthem by DMX, and that was like, we played it like 150 times on loop, you know what I mean? So that became my shit. And but the other song, I don't know if this came before or after. I would say Rough Riders Anthem had the biggest impact, but either right before or right after that was the Godzilla movie, and Puff Daddy did the like lead single on it called "Come With Me," and I bought the single at Radio Shack. Yeah, like I bought off the single rack for like $1.99.
Damn.
You know, went back when CDs used to like have that. They have the radio edit and the explicit and the instrumental or something like that.
I can't remember. Could you get explicit without like being 18?
I used to get my edited ones at Walmart because Walmart all the CDs were edited. So I would have to show my dad like the track list before I bought it. I remember I bought BG, Chopper City in the Ghetto when he was part of the Hot Boys and shit with Wayne. And I put my thumb over the track that had the word ass in it when I showed him the shit. It's weird. I haven't thought about some of this stuff in like 20 years.
Because I remember we were burning a bunch of CDs, and my friend was putting me onto all the rap shit. And I remember having, I think it was an Eminem CD or something, right when Eminem came out and all the controversy was happening. And I had it burned. And I was like listening. I put it in the car, and we were driving, and the music turned on. And the first song came on, and Eminem's like cussing up a storm. And my dad like ejected the CD and was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And threw it right out the window. And I watched my dreams just like fall apart. I'm like, "No," I'm like, "You don't understand."
You think about some of those songs too, like what's Ludacris songs like Splash Waterfalls.
It might have been Luda. It might have been a
Luda. When Luda and Trina were going in on records,
and
it was just like the most sexually explicit. shit.
That shit was crazy.
Parents were horrified.
They were so nervous. Yeah, I remember that. Damn.
Yeah,
that
was
crazy.
Like my first couple songs that I downloaded off Napster. My dad listened to them and was like, "I thought you weren't going to download anything like that." I was like,
"But I did."
Sorry, man.
I did. I almost still listen to it.
I was like, "Sucks." Bitch.
So, have you ever played with Daniel, the kid from Nashville?
No.
Like, music started? No.
I mean, I was just in Nashville with him like 2 weeks ago, but no, I haven't like really played any music with him. He sent me a cover. I did a song a couple months ago, like 2 months ago, called Voodoo, and he sent me a cover, and I was like all excited to listen to it. And I play it, and it was him doing a cover of the song of my song, which is cool to me because like I've been singing on shit
Yeah.
too. So it was cool to me that a genre where you sing more covered my like rap
Yeah,
shit.
that's tight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is that out? Did he ever release a cover?
He didn't put anything out, no.
Damn.
But he just showed me it. But
Give me
yeah,
an
the Voodoo's
exclusive,
out.
dog. Give me an
Voodoo's
exclusive.
on Spotify.
Yeah, that's right.
Now.
I'm trying to get this podcast on
And-
Spotify. Them motherfuckers.
iTunes or Apple Music.
Yeah, cool. Download it. So then college is happening. You start rapping at the end of it.
Yeah, like 22.
But what's happening? Like you're going to school for engineering, and then out of nowhere, you just like, nah, math sucks. All this.
Yeah, I actually took a half a year off and switched majors. But in that half a year, I was just trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing.
What'd you switch to?
New media and like communication.
Yeah, communicate. Go do it. It's easy. It's a breeze.
The easiest.
I did it too. It was hard actually because I just didn't want to be there. That's what was hard.
I would finish all my shit in like the first 5 weeks of a 10-week course. You know what I mean? And then it'd be
a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's writing, and it was natural.
That's what I was gonna say. I did that with creative writing minor, and
me too.
You did?
Yeah, shit. I didn't actually finish my minor.
Me either. They didn't let me. I had one semester.
All I had to do was the internship. That's all I had to do.
I had one class that the chick fucked it up and piled them on. She's like, oh, you can do them both at this last semester. And I go in, and they're like, oh, you need to take this one before you take that one. So you have to come back next semester. I was like, that can't happen.
Did you get it fired?
I've been here.
I would have got it fired.
No, I went so crazy, dude. It was the worst. It was like dealing with that shit was the worst.
Burn her house down.
Shout out to you and I. Thanks for making it difficult, guys.
Right.
But hire me to speak there. I want to come back and speak at my college. Anyway. TED Talk. Yeah, that'd be tight.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember that, and I took the creative writing, and that was my favorite, though. Like, going to my creative writing classes, because I was doing communications, and I was like, whatever. I already know how to talk to people. And then learning.
Which is what it is.
It is. It's just talking to
common
people.
sense. They teach you the same fucking shit in every class. It stands for common sense. It doesn't stand for communication.
That's so fucking true.
It's so easy.
But it was tight, because I'd be in there, and I would be working with other kids that were in my major that were all doing the electronic. We did like electronic media, so it was like all.
That's what new media. Mine was new media and communication technology. So it was like this was when Twitter and shit's like starting to boom. So it was talking a lot about that shit.
That was fun, but we would do all that shit, and I just it was all networking. Like there's like probably 6 kids that I went to college with that I still fuck with, like that have gone out and done shit other than news.
Yeah,
which is crazy because I
don't know any of the kids that I that I did that shit with because all my friends had graduated already because I took that half year off, so they had all graduated in 2012, and I didn't graduate, so I went back and finished.
You never did?
No, I went.
Oh,
I
you
went
did.
Back and
You finished with major. So when you're doing communications, that's when you start rapping.
No, I started rapping. I started rapping before that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a TA for 2 engineering classes, and I would have students that like would listen to my music and shit. And which was weird because like my music was like lifestyle stuff about like getting drunk and like fucking girls,
like college shit.
Yeah, like, and so I'll be teaching. There's one computer programming class that I taught called engineering graphics, and so I'll be like typing fucking code with my fucking students, and they're like jamming my shit. I'm like, this is weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what you start doing that in school, and what did you do first? Were you releasing music on like SoundCloud type shit or YouTube?
Yeah, I guess SoundCloud. No, DatPiff.
DatPiff.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
So you did mixtape type shit?
Yeah, I did like a couple mixtapes.
So what? You put out a couple mixtapes and started picking up steam because I knew you like got a heavy following from school, right?
Yeah, like the first I put out a mixtape, and then Crit was on the sideline story tour with Cole.
Yeah.
And he dropped off for like one show, and it was the Ohio State show. So they hit me up on a Sunday, and they're like, "Do you want to open for J. Cole tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Do I want to open for my favorite artist tomorrow?" Sure. But it was kind of weird because the only performance I'd ever had up to that point was at a tattoo parlor.
Doug.
Yeah, so
that's
like
so scary.
So like there was like a tattoo parlor with 15 people. Like I have a video from it. There's like 15 people there. It wasn't my show either. It was like my engineer and producer. Like he also rapped, and he was like, "Yo, just come do the show with me. And I'll invite all my friends." So I had like 3 or 4 of my friends there. My brother was there too. And in between songs, you can like hear there's like half price tattoos during the performances. That was like on the flyer, and in the back. You can like hear the zzz, like in between songs and shit. So I did.
But you
that.
only played like a few songs at that shit,
Yeah,
right?
I played like 3 or 4 songs.
3 or 4 songs, and then you have to go open up for Cole.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Yeah, you got a 30-minute set for Cole." I'm like, "I don't even have 30 minutes worth of music. What the fuck you want me to do?" So,
damn.
Yeah, I went.
So what'd you do? How did you get ready?
I mean, I'd had
enough though. But you've never done a set. Like
I'd never done a set, and like understood transitions, and plus I went from like 15 people to like 2,000 people. You know what I mean?
On a massive stage too.
Yeah, like a big, like $100,000, you know, professional equipment, like all that shit. So afterwards, I just kind of was hanging out outside the little motherfucking venue, and people were just coming up to me like, "Yo, you're dope," and like taking pictures and like adding me on Twitter, Instagram. Nobody cared about Instagram at the time. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they were just adding me, and so that I picked up like a ton off that. And then once I dropped the next project, then it was like waves of people. So
timeline is you had a mixtape out on DatPiff already. Then you play Cole. Then you drop another thing, and that's when people start picking up the steam. Damn, you know what's crazy too? Because I told you this. We did because when I play music, it's funny because me and Cal's stories are very similar. Minus engineer, I would never make that mistake.
Yeah,
I
that's
could never
big
compete.
Yeah.
But when I be playing shows and making music and doing all that shit, and we literally opened up for that same exact tour. So it's crazy because I'm in Iowa, you're in Ohio. We're like that's got to be the next stop, I think.
And those states are both 4-letter states, and they sound kind of similar.
Everyone always says, "Oh, you're from Ohio." People make that joke all the time. It's whatever. Or Idaho, which I don't understand that, but they think Iowa.
I do. They both start with I's.
I guess super far.
And in A's.
Yeah, but anyway.
Wait, Idaho definitely doesn't. Oh no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
no.
A.
Engineering student.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. But we did that shit, and I remember playing that show because it was like the crazy. And Crit did play it too. So we were before Crit and Cole. And what sucked was it was Wednesday during finals week. It was Wednesday during final weeks, and they sold the tickets for like super expensive.
Oh, well, ours are free.
Oh my god!
Ohio State perks. Of going to Ohio State.
You and I again. Goddamn. So $45 minimum base ticket, I think, something like that for.
That's tough.
And the promoter wouldn't let us sell tickets, and at the time we were hungry for some. Like we would have sold like 400 or 500 tickets easy just right off the gate. And
damn, I don't know how you would do that because I couldn't do that shit.
Because we've been playing shows way before that. So we had done that. So here's the thing with your show. How did it go for you? Not having practice or having understood
it was the best.
It was good?
No, I mean it was all right. It was cool. I went up there and like 15 seconds into my first song, this big girl in the front row was sitting big girl front row. I come out and I like step out on a little ledge and she's like, "You ain't Crit." Like while I'm rapping. That's like, so my brother tells me that all the time. Like every time I play a song for my brother, he'll be like, "You ain't Crit." Like, you ain't Crit.
Damn.
Yeah.
But I remember our first show that I thought we worked so hard. We were about to open up for Posner. Posner would have been my first show ever. We had played one show before in a club, thought we were the shit. Like, we were like, oh, all we need is this because that's like what happened to Mac Miller. That's what happened to whoever. And I'm like, that's all we need is just one show. Posner's coming through, and we were supposed to play, and then we ended up not getting on the bill last minute. And I'm so glad we didn't now, looking back at it, because it would have just tanked. But by the time we did like a Cole show, we were like seasoned as far as like opening for artists and shit. But I remember doing that, and then he came straight to you, which was crazy because we didn't meet until a while after that.
Do you know how that order went on the tour?
What?
Did it go consecutively? Was it consecutive nights?
No, I think it had to have been. He played our show in Iowa and then had to have gone to Minneapolis or Chicago before he got to you.
I should look it up.
It's probably 2 days off. 2 days off. That shit blew my mind because we probably opened up for.
That's when you can say small world.
Very small world.
Because a lot of times people say small world and they're just wrong. They're like, if we're both from Cincinnati, they're like, oh, you went to Elder. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Small world. It's like, no, you're talking about people who live in the same motherfucking city.
Yeah, it's not a small world.
That's a small city. That's and yes, it is a small city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, that's not that hard.
No, we met in Los Angeles, California on some random shit. And damn.
That's small world.
That's super small world. Yeah. But yeah, okay, cool. So you know, that shit happens. You play in front of 2,000 people, shut it down, but you ain't Crit. And then you put out the next project. So then I remember seeing the video that you shot and then reshot when you moved out here. Was that like your first? Fucks with me. Yeah. Was that your first video you did?
No.
You had done more, right?
I did a video like back in 2012 at the beginning of it called Best Foot Forward. And then at the end of 2012, I did the Fucks With Me video, the original one, which was like the first video that I had that like made waves.
Yeah, because so you put that out and it just like, I think that was like one of your most viewed videos until like last year, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of goes viral off the chance of like college hip hop talking about fun shit. But you were like corny too, like you were like wearing like the blazer and shit.
Yeah,
Like
that was a women's blouse.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very small.
It was dope. But I mean, he was having fun. It was dope. The video's sick because it's just having fun.
Yeah,
You got all the homies.
I was with my videographer who was not my manager at the time, but was gonna end up being my manager like 6 months later. And Dan Gotti, shout out Dan Gotti. And I just brought all these crazy ass clothes, and he's like, "Wear this," and I'm like, "All right, that's tight." And so like for that one shot I wore the little blazer thing that was like a women's blazer.
Right.
For the other shot I had like that big fucking fur coat with no shirt underneath, and then the other shot I had like a bathrobe on with the motherfucking glasses with the mustache on it. But it was cool for me because like I don't take myself that serious anyways, and so I think people kind of understood that by watching the video. They're like, oh, he fucking like I rap. I'm a good rapper.
Yeah, he still raps well, but he's still having fun with like
and that was kind of like that's kind of always been how I want to be portrayed like in music. Is like I'm a good rapper, but I'm not going to sit out here and act like a cool boy all the time.
But I remember we were talking one night. I remember you talking about like having a very low point in Ohio where you were like considering quitting, and then that's when you met your new management. Yeah.
I mean, I had done Fountain Square, which is like downtown Cincinnati. They had like this free concert series every year, and so I did it like probably 3 years in a row, and went from like opening it, like being the first show and having like 30 people there. And then the next year, like a little bit bigger. And then the third year, like thousands of people there. It was like cracking. Hometown show for free.
Right.
Outdoors. It was cracking. And, but after that show, I was still like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm about to graduate. And I don't get paid enough off this because I probably got I think I got less than $1,000 to headline that show, which was kind of like I was kind of doing it for a favor because the promotional company had like been putting me on shows for a couple years, but like I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to like make a ton of money doing what I was doing currently. It would have to be bigger than that. So then I met Drew, my current manager at a bar randomly right after that show. Like
because I remember you said something like you were talking to your brother or whatever, and just like, dude, I don't. Like can't do this, and like there was all these things that were happening. Like people were supposed to be at the show and they didn't show up, and like all this. Like, shit
there were I mean, just plenty of like record exec people that were like saying that they were gonna come check it out or whatever, and then they're just like, no, we can't. Like A&Rs and shit, people who just like try to name drop all the time. So I just kind of was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to get a fucking job. Mm-hmm. But then I met Drew randomly, and he listened. I just gave him my contact info, like in his notes.
But at the time, did you know like what because he's from? So
well, I knew that Riveting shot videos because my old manager Dan had showed me some of Colin Tilley's videos before, and been like, "Oh, this is Riveting. This is like the best company that does it."
Right.
So I watched some like video that they had with like Wayne or Ross or somebody, and so I knew I was familiar with the company when I met Drew, and. Yeah, so he like checked out my music because I put all my information in his notes, like not in his he gave me his notes, so he wasn't like, "Hey, I'm about to give you my number." So I was like, "This guy's not gonna fuck with me." You know what I mean? Like it's not happening. So he got on the plane and looked it up. I guess maybe he can confirm that, but he looked it up and liked it and flew me out to LA, and we. Been working together since.
It's crazy. So. And at the time, Riveting is a LA-based production company, but the owner is from Ohio. So
yeah,
he was back
Cincinnati.
like visiting by chance.
Yeah, he was visiting his friend.
And they just like talked about you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Scott had been like, yo, you got to come check this guy out. I think Riveting was looking for music artists at the time. Like they wanted
to get
music artists. Yeah. But yeah, they were just looking for the right person. And then Scott was like, yo, you need to go check this guy out. They didn't go to the show, but then afterwards we ended up at Scott's bar. So it's just like by chance.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's all about who you know, people.
It is.
Well, so then you move out to LA how long after? Because you came and visited, right, and like checked it out, or you actually like that was it?
Yeah, we flew out. We checked it out. I think I was out here twice before I like moved out here. Decided to move out here. I came out for like a week where we shot.
Fucks
with Me and Gold Coins and All for Ohio, like just 3 songs in one day in the same location.
Isn't that crazy though? You went from shooting, you had 2 amateur music videos that you made with your friends in Ohio who are not like...
More than 2 and less than amateur. Like it was just like I mean, you could shoot a better video with a cell phone today. No offense to Paul and everybody else. I mean, Paul killed it with everything that he had.
Right.
But it was just like
the means were like it was hard to do just this
because back then. I mean, seriously, even 6 years ago, having cameras like I mean, it just wasn't the same shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy.
So, we were just on it. We just didn't know what the fuck we were doing. None of us did.
So you come out and reshoot the one video that was booming for you already. Why'd you guys do that?
I don't know. I actually didn't want to do it.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't want to do it because I was like, nah, this is spot on.
Like the way you did shoot it was cool?
I was like, this is exactly who I am, and this is exactly, like, people like this. And I actually shot it in, I don't know if it's still on YouTube. If you go read the comments, though, then people are like, I like the original better.
That's crazy.
Me too.
Yeah.
But
you go to shooting, like...
But I just did it because, like, it was, my relationship with Drew was so new that I was like, all right, dude, like...
Just see.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a team thing. You just got to trust, like, the people that you're with. You're like, let's try it out. Like, what's it really going to hurt?
And is that exciting for you to, like, know, damn, this dude has been working with all these artists. He's been around the game for a while.
Yeah, because it made me feel like I had a shot professionally. I think I never, like, doubted myself talent-wise. Like, I know I'm good. But I think that, like, it seems like such a climb and like such a shot in the dark, and being a superstar, or like the idea of you know, being like having a brand and the image and stuff is so much more than just like rapping. And I've just always known that I'm good at rapping. I'm like, I can make a good song,
right?
Sure,
but there's like a whole business.
But there's just more behind it, and like connecting with certain people, and you know, like just knowing the right people just seems so important. And now I realize that it's probably not necessary. Like, I've seen other cats who like just kind of start to do it themselves. But I don't regret it. Like, I think it always helps when you put people on your team that you know and trust, and that can, you know.
But how crazy it's crazy for you to say, like, at the time you're talking about just that after that show. I remember you telling me that you went and played the show and it was lit, like everyone was there, fucking thousands of people going crazy for you. That was like your biggest show at the time, and then you were just feeling so like bummed because you're like, damn, I'm about to be out of. I need to work.
I was like, this is the pinnacle for me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is it. Like, literally nothing. It doesn't get any better than this.
And then you come to this place like thinking, damn, what do I do now? Like, this might be it. And then all of a sudden you get this opportunity out of nowhere to go out and work in LA with like real people in the real industry, which is untouchable for being in Iowa, Ohio, like being in the Midwest. There's Chicago, that's the closest thing to you, that's like a major city that's like truly could do something for you, and it's impossible to like afford getting there, being there all the time.
Connect.
It's very hard.
It's 5.5 hours away from me. So
same here. It was like the same distance. So it's like tough like to do that shit, but then out of nowhere you got the fucking golden ticket and you come out here.
I feel like moving out to LA though, like it's like having a baby. It's like you're never going to be ready to move to LA. Like, people are like, oh, I'm gonna save money for a year and a half and then I'm gonna move out. And it's like, no, you're not. Right. Like, you just gotta move. You literally have to like go move and go sleep on somebody's couch. You're never gonna be prepared to do it. So you just throw yourself to the wolves. Just be like, LA, have me. I'll figure it out.
What did you do? I know you and your girl moved out here, and then was there anyone else that you came with?
No. We just like came out, stayed on my friend's couch for a while. We would go up to San Francisco and make hash oil.
What?
We made.
I know. Actually, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah,
because I was like, dude, what are you doing out here?
Yeah. So we would go up there and make hash oil and make some money, and then.
But like, how was that connection brought to you?
Probably shouldn't elaborate.
But like just a random like connect as soon as you get out here.
No, it was somebody we knew, but
word.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah,
but that turns into work, so you get to go up there and do. I mean, that's probably like a legal job now. Right?
It's definitely, it can be illegal. Legal job.
Yeah, if you do it differently.
But yeah, it got us. You know, when you're out here, rent's very expensive out here, and then once you need like a security deposit, first and last month's rent, then it's like, all right, if I came out here with no money, where do I come up with $4,000?
Right.
You know, and
at the time you weren't prepared for that. You like got the golden ticket and had to figure it out.
And I was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole point, is you just come out here and make it work, and then you just gotta work.
So how often were you going to San Francisco?
Probably like once every 4, 5, 6 weeks.
So just to go up there, get some cash, come back
down.
Yeah. And what were you doing when you got here? Making music? Like, right away, or were you trying to like network, or what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, I think like, I mean, both. But when I was making music before, like the first 2 years that I was with Riveting, we would like rent studio time. Or go to a producer that we knew and work with him or whatever. But I didn't get much chance to like experiment creatively because I was always on somebody else's time or like dollar. So we would either be renting studios and it would cost money to rent studios and engineers and stuff, or we'd be working with producers and I don't want to waste their time getting in there and like doing something I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
So I would be like writing raps before, go there, try to write some raps and put it all together. But yeah, it was like I guess I figured out over those 2 years that working on other people's time is just never gonna work for you. Like as a creator, I think people always say authority kills creativity, and a time limit is authority.
Right.
So if time that makes time is in control of what you're gonna make if you only have an 8-hour block in the studio.
Yeah.
So I started to record myself like over the last year, and that's just expanded my creativity. Like,
so, but like,
tenfold.
so when you get out here, was it you basically are coming, because this is an interesting situation that you're in. You're getting managed by Riveting, and then the budget, is your budget coming from them as well, or were you like funding all of that on your own?
No,
because you guys shot like mad music videos.
Yeah,
and
we
shit.
shot music videos and stuff, which like obviously it helped that Riveting was shooting them because it was all in-house. So it's like we could keep costs at the low.
Yeah. And they were like fronting money.
But yeah, they were like front money on like whenever we did studio stuff.
And then so is that like it's like almost essentially like a label situation, like you got to pay back the
It's
bank
kind of
loans?
like an independent label because those are recoupable expenses. But I've always like considered myself unsigned because signed to me is like a major label experience when you get fronted like a big advance,
right?
And then you can go do whatever you want with that advance, and you are signed there for X number of albums, and they have some control over when you can put out music. And I don't have any of those.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I really liked about the situation is that like it's not so much about creative control for me. It's not about like, oh, I need to do this when I want to or rap about this when I want to. It's just like I just don't want anybody to tell me what I can't do.
Right, I see.
It's not so much about everything that I can do. It's just I don't have any like limitation on what I can't do.
What was like the most challenging transition for you within that first year of being here?
I don't know. I hated it. I hated LA for the first 2 years I was here.
What
I didn't have. I just, I don't know. I didn't have like a routine. When I had school, that was my routine. It was like I would go to class, come home from class, and eat and get high and make music, you know? And I felt like I had purpose and like other things that I was doing. But when I had this abundance of time to create, but then not a means to create, like not the actual recording. I mean, I had a mic and stuff, but I just didn't know how to mix my own stuff. I did my first project by myself on GarageBand. It's called Best Foot Forward. Okay. I did that on GarageBand, like in a library at Ohio State because they had like a big studio whisper room thing.
That was dope.
But I wasn't good at it. It didn't sound good. Like it's not even online now because I took it off because I'm like, this sounds like shit.
Really?
And everybody really, like a lot of people really like it. They're like, hey, can I have this?
Well, it shows growth too. Like
yeah, it does. But like other rappers don't have their old shitty music. I'm more critical of my own shit than anybody else is. So I don't know. To me, it's like why if I'm a sports journalist, then why would I have like my book report from 8th grade on my fucking?
Yeah, but that's more publicly. I think like you went public with that project and allowed it to go. I mean, at any point in time, someone could have copped that and just keep re-releasing it. Like that's what happens when these people get so big. Is when something comes out that they try to hide. Even it's almost impossible.
Oh yeah,
like, you're lucky that people aren't re-uploading it.
Well, I think people will at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
I think it'd be tight because I think that really would be like, damn, listen to this kid.
Yeah, even like in the last year, I tweeted like, hey, if you want Best Foot Forward, hit me up. Like, give me your email. And so probably like 80 people or something gave me their email, and I just sent it to them on WeTransfer. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not like ashamed of it. I think it's good, but it's just I don't want people to find that first because I don't want people to be like, oh yeah, I heard that shit, and like not know when it's from, not know that it's from 2012.
Right. Interesting.
You know, and just be like, oh yeah, this ass.
Yeah, and you can't really control the way people find shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not in control of that.
And I mean, sometimes you might only get like 15 seconds of somebody's attention. So if I have 15 seconds, I don't want it to be on that shit. I want it to be on different shit.
But you're coming out here like no friends. It's you and your girl. This dude you just randomly met. You kind of know some shit about them, but you don't really know them, so you don't have anybody really.
Yeah, I don't really have many like real friends.
Yeah. So what do you're spending all your time? Who are like some artists, or what situations were you put into right away when you got out here that were like, oh fuck?
I met the first before I even moved out here. I was in a studio session one time. Andrew was like, "Yo, let's go. Chris is going to the studio tonight. I want you to meet him." I'm like, "Cool." Because Andrew has a good relationship with Chris. Other people don't know this. You know this.
Yeah.
Because Riveting has shot Chris's music videos for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, we go to not Hit Factory. What's it called? Record Plant. And we're in the main room, and Chris walks in, says what up, and this is right before X drops his album, and he's playing like unreleased shit, whatever. Fucking Drake walks in.
You're like, what?
Crazy to me, because like I'd been listening to Drake since Comeback Season, which was like his first big one.
Yeah,
he probably had one before it too, but it's like not out because he probably took it off.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
But I was listening to Drake since the only Drake song on LimeWire,
Damn.
yeah, was Replacement Girl. And it wasn't with Trey Songz, and it wasn't even like the full version. It would like skip halfway through the first verse. That was the only Drake song that was on there. I searched Drake. Like after I heard that, I searched Drake for everything. Couldn't find anything for a while. Anyway, so Drake walks in, and I just sat in the corner because I was the broke, quiet white kid in the corner, and I was like, I was like, yeah.
Like,
but you know, at that point, I'm like, I'm a fly on the wall. So
yeah,
it was cool for me. Yeah, and so Drake's playing unreleased Drake records, just loving it. He was playing like some party records before Party dropped them, like Recognized. He played that Grinding record with Wayne before it dropped, and then Chris was playing his whole album, the Akon joint and stuff like that, and just going in. But yeah, so that was like and Tiger was in there too.
This is before you moved?
Yeah.
So you are
I was
hooked.
Like, yeah.
You're fucking hooked.
So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
but I'm also
be there.
But I'm also like, I mean, I like I said, I've always thought I was good, but you know, I'm in the room with those guys, and I'm like, if somebody asked me to go do a song with them right now, I'd be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of that was like the only time I've ever really been like starstruck before.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah.
I mean, you come from the farm.
Yeah, it just happened so quick. I think that like if you would have given me some time, if I would have had like a couple months to be like, all right, you know what, I'm probably gonna meet these guys and
like
in a
prepare
little
for
bit.
it, and all of a sudden,
yeah, but it was just kind of like bang, bang, bang. It was like fly out, boom, boom. It was like within 2 weeks, I gone from like I don't even know if I'm gonna make music anymore to like now I'm in the same room as Drake and Chris and Tiger.
And what's crazy about that shit is there's no way to like relay that feeling to anyone, like to anyone. Like I'll try to come back and try to nutshell some of these stories that happened to me, and I'm like trying to tell my family or tell some friends back home, and I'm like, it's like I imagine this. I dreamed of this world where I could live in it, and now I'm here, but I can't explain to you how crazy or how casual this shit can be.
And it's on some peer shit, and that's what I think people on the outside don't understand is they're like, oh, cool. If I ever met so and so, it's like that's a fan relationship.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like that's a fan.
Oh my God.
That's a fan to artist relationship where it'd be like, oh, cool, I get to sit in the same room and talk to this person. But for us, for creators, it's like it's an artist to artist relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest feeling is to feel like you've elevated your career to a certain point where now you're like not necessarily on the same level as those people,
right?
But if you're in the same room as those people, then you're doing something right.
You got the cosign too.
Yeah.
It's like having that cosign. I think it just one of those last things. I've been around A$AP Rocky like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Never really talked to him because I always tried to be fly on the wall shooting. Like whatever it was, I was always shooting something. And then I think at this last like Budweiser event I was at with Q, we're backstage and Tyler and Rocky were there, and then MacWap, Q's DJ, was like, let's go. And we go over and meet him, and he's like, yo, this is Ben, this is my video guy, blah, blah, he's the big, blah, blah, blah. He just starts pumping me up, and Rocky right away was like, oh, all right, cool. If you got the MacWap cosign, you're good. Like, you're good with me forever. What do you want to do? And I was like, what? And he's like, you want a picture? Like, offering me just like, do you want to take a cool photo of me? I'm like, nah, I'll get it later. He's like, no, man, take the fucking photo. And I was like, all right, cool. But then after that, it's like, cool, that's good. Like, hit me up the other day. Let's go to the studio. Rocky's doing some shit, I don't know, project I can't talk about. But like, let's go over there and
top secret.
You know what I mean? But now it's like, it's crazy how that happens. But it just takes 2 times, and then the third time you start being recognized. Oh, that's that guy.
And you can never plan for it.
Ever.
That's the biggest trip, is that like that day you weren't like, oh, cool, I'm gonna meet Rocky tonight, snap a photo of Rocky and start my relationship with Rocky.
No.
You know, and like that, it was the same thing for me that day. It's not like, I didn't even know Drake was gonna come in until Drake walked in.
Right.
Like, can you imagine how much I peed my pants? Like, when that shit
no,
happens?
I do
Like,
know, because that shit happens all the time. Whenever you're in the studio with the artist and someone else walks in or you're on tour and shit, you're like, oh fuck, I know who that is.
Yeah, when you're not expecting it at all. That's probably the coolest part about being an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh shit, this is somebody who I actually listen to. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's crazy.
It'd be like being a hooper and stepping on the court, and you're like, oh man, I grew up watching Kobe Bryant. Now I get to go against Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
you know
school
what I
his
mean?
ass.
Yeah, I'm guarding Kobe Bryant.
That's crazy.
It's probably like that.
We did. I think the first time I met you, so I had flown out to LA to visit, and Andrew Sandler brought me to
7th Streeter.
7th Streeter,
You were
Chris
shooting
Brown
7th
video.
Street.
Yep, and we like everyone's heard that story before, but I snuck my way in and like was able to shoot BTS and shit.
For
And I
free.
remember shooting it, for free. And I'm shooting BTS, and I saw you walk in, but it was funny because before I had come out there, Andrew's talking about Rivity and shit, and I'm like looking at their website, and I saw that they had music management, and I'm like coming from music, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Andrew works with this company, and maybe they like help artists or some shit. Maybe like I could work with them someday. And I see your shit, I'm looking you up, and I'm like, all right, cool, who's this dude? And then you come into set, and I'm like, yo, I know you. Like, I
But you were like, what?
What?
You were like, this kid
Cornball.
is a cornball.
I'm coming after him. I'm like, I'm coming after this kid. I'm like, just because I remember it was like, I think I saw the Fucks With Me video, and you were wearing like leather
Jacket,
or some sort of pants, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, he's real cool. I'm like, he just looks real cool. And I hadn't seen the old Fucks With Me video. So that was like my first taste of you, which is funny how we talk about this shit like your first 15 seconds. It's just interesting. But I remember seeing, I'm like, But then you come up and you brought a dog.
I was probably with Dessa, yeah.
No, I remember you said you like, it was like
that was a
rental
foster.
Dog. Foster
yeah,
dog.
That was Skylar. Yeah.
So he brings this dog to set, and he comes in. It's Chris Brown video, and here comes Cal, and I'm like watching this
It
kid.
was Don't Kill the Fun.
Don't Kill the Fun by
yeah.
Seven and featuring Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And so he comes on the set, and I'm like, damn, I'm like, that's like the super plug. Like for musicians, I'm like, he's from Ohio. I like researched it. I'm like, this kid looks like he like really got the plug. Like he could walk on any music set and like talk to any artist. I'm like, damn, his future's gonna be dope. Like really dope. Like you're in a good spot.
Super easy.
Super easy. Just walks on. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I brought a dog. Everyone's like, oh, a dog.
All the bitches like,
my God. But I see you come up. You see Chris, dap Chris up. Seven, give her a hug, like all that shit. And I'm just sitting there like, damn, LA is really fucking tight. But we talked, and I was like, yeah, man, I seen you on. You probably don't even remember the conversation, but we like chatted or whatever.
No, I remember it.
It was. I don't.
I do. That's why I said I was the one who fucking said what video it was. Don't fucking discredit me like I don't remember the beginning of
but
our
I could.
friendship.
I know, true. All right, my bad. But like,
Come on.
we talked and it was cool. I was like, oh shit.
You were like,
I got it.
because you told me you were like, oh, I make music too.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, I make music too. Blah blah blah. I give it good for you.
Yeah,
like,
because
you're
I remember
crushing
that too. Because everybody always tells me that when they're like, oh, you're a musician. I make music too, and I hate it. And so when you told me that, I was like, oh, I really hope that you never
fucking
lose. I really hope you never play your music for me.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was like, yo, I just was like more like pat you on the back scenario where I'm like, dog, you're in a good spot right now. Like you have got like I've been sitting at home uploading my music everywhere.
Even though you were like, this motherfucker's corny.
But the only thing so that's the thing. I thought you were corny.
But then you met me.
I met you.
And then you were
and
like,
I was like, I get
this
it.
is a good person.
Yeah, I was like, I get it. Cal's tight. I was like, Cal is me. Like I was like, we're like the same type of dude. I get it.
Except like
it was just dressed differently. It wasn't advertised as, you know what I mean? Like,
I would say like far more strikingly handsome, taller, prettier
That's
eyes.
the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. No, but like I remember just your vibe was completely different. And when I saw that video, it was just like it was like bitches dancing and whatever, and it's like the typical rap thing.
It was typical.
And I was
rap.
like, man, this
That's
is like,
why I didn't like it.
Yeah, I feel you. But like then I met you, I got it, and I was like, okay, this dude's tight. And I leave and whatever. When we came back, you came to Riveting, and I was in Riveting with Andrew working on Chris's doc, and it was like my first 2 days there, and you came by, and I was like, how do I get him to understand that like we're on like we could be equal friends someday? Like I want you to know that I'm cool at something. I was like, yo, I got a drone. Let's go on the rooftop and do a drone video. And you're like, okay. And I remember we went up there. How many floors is that?
6 or 18.
18 floors. So we're up really high and off Wilshire and did this fucking thing where Cal just was like, I'm gonna do Mortal Kombat.
No, not Mortal Kombat. It was fucking Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, yeah. So he just like throws the fireball, and then I did the drone thing, and then I remember like putting the fucking. I'm sitting there trying to edit. I'm like, this has to be cool because no one knows that I can do this shit.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I remember everyone was like, damn, why did they fly the drone upstairs? I was panicked and shit, but it ended up being dope as fuck. Flew the drone up on that roof.
For the time, it was cool.
No one knew. No one flew drones here.
No one was doing that shit
at all. And then I went and added the whole sound effects and did all the shit and fly out, and all of a sudden you see the hills. And
you're right though. No one was shooting drone shit at the time.
I mean, big drones and like, but it cost money and shit.
Yeah,
no one was doing like fucking little drones, but making cool shit out of it.
Around the time, the only other artist that I saw really utilizing drones was MGK. Did the ones where he would go
way after that.
That was way after.
Way after. Because
really?
I remember watching those two and be like, ha. Because I remember being in Iowa, being like, yo, you might go on this TDE tour, all this shit. And I was like, dude, I have to go on that tour because no one's going to shoot with this like stabilizer thing I have. No one's doing drone videos. I'm like, can you imagine a drone video of the tour bus? Like, I kept saying that all the time. And then fast forward to like finally getting to do it. But before that, MGK was doing those like boomerang things where he did the super fly out
at
shit.
every like venue.
Yeah, which was really tight.
Yeah, it was cool.
He's a good dude.
Don't know.
Did you ever play a show with him?
Did one show with him. Didn't meet him.
Was it like a college type thing?
It was at Ohio. It was in Columbus, but it wasn't like necessarily a college show.
Who promoted that? You don't know the company? There was a dude the dude that promoted our show. He was like would tour with MGK, and he was from Ohio.
I met a lot of my fans. Like I just had a show in Columbus, and a lot of people there. I was at the same venue where I did the MGK show, and we were talking about that. We were like, this is what they were like. This is where I first saw you.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I've heard really good things about him, like as a person.
Yeah.
And he makes good music.
Yeah. I mean, he was nice at the show, but then
never met
just
him.
meeting him at this club thing or whatever, like or the house party. He was like really, I don't know, he's just tight dude.
It's nice to know when
he wasn't being like insane that he like. You know, on all his vlogs and shit, he's like breaking shit and fucking going crazy. He was just like chilling. He's a good actor too.
It's nice to I saw him in Nerve. He was really good.
Oh yeah, he was in Nerve.
I haven't seen
Roadies.
Roadies yet.
Roadies was really good. I watched that in our whole Australian
And
tour.
I think he just booked a something with like Julia Roberts or who's the other lady that's just like Julia Roberts?
I don't know. I'm nervous to say because they were telling me, and I don't want to say shit that might not be out.
I'm pretty sure it's out. I'm pretty sure it's on Billboard or
There's
something.
like two things maybe.
You might have to beep out the name that I used then. If I say Julia Roberts, you had to treat it like a curse word.
But there's no way I'll find out.
So you just beep it every time I say Julia Roberts.
I don't edit this shit. It's just going live. If I'm sorry if it came out.
No, you have to beep it. It's like Kendrick. It's like that song where Kendrick says, "This is not the tape recorder saying that he did it." Did you ever pick up on that?
This is not the tape recorder saying that.
Yeah, when he's like, he said
ever since the day I was.
Yeah. Remember they beep right before that. It's like a beep.
Oh yeah.
And then because he says,
I didn't know. I was like, what are you talking about?
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He's saying somebody's name in it, and then
censored
but he
it.
don't. Yeah,
Smart.
That's actually really cool.
I love it.
I respected Kendrick a lot for that. I was like, that's dope.
But okay, let's get back to.
Yeah.
Sorry guys.
Yeah.
So, big things are starting to happen. You're seeing like stardom shit like around you. You move here, you start making music. Who's the first artist you collaborated with? Was it more producers? You were like doing like getting in the studio with producers or like?
Yeah, I work with Jukebox. He's a good friend of mine.
What's he done?
Did Willow Smith with my hair.
He produced that?
Yeah, and wrote it.
Oh shit.
And that's cool. That's quite an accomplishment because Willow Smith was a 12-year-old. And he made that song go huge, and like that became like a strip club anthem. So how do you get a 12-year-old played in the strip club? That's an accomplishment.
You do it with Will Smith.
But that's that's a massive record. But really good guy. I worked with him. Co-sign of the interns too. Of the interns.
That's crazy because
cool.
JR on the last podcast
I met
was
JR.
talking about
So I met JR in the studio randomly.
That's crazy. If you listen to last episode and you listen to this episode, see how this shit gets put together. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I remember meeting JR in the studio too. I forget what he was doing. He was like a studio manager, I think, for them.
He was Co-sign's assistant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, bitches.
Whatever, yeah. He was like running around doing all that shit.
But yeah. So I met them. I worked with I didn't really do much work with them. Like I just worked at their studio. I did some shit on some of their beats, and he sent me some beats and whatever. But Sounds, who works with like Bieber a lot. But everybody that I met was like really cool.
Like they really liked your shit.
Yeah, I mean, they liked my shit, but like they were just cool people. I was glad that they weren't just like too big and bougie to like. I just hate meeting people and having them not be engaging.
You have to fight for their attention almost. Like,
yeah, which is fine. I understand they're busy and like there might be a lot of people in the room, but I just feel like the first 15 seconds you meet someone, like I can determine if I'm gonna like that person or not, just 100%. By like, hey, just if you meet me, just like look at me like I'm a human being, shake my hand and be like, yo, what's up? Like, yeah, man, you know. So,
but
anyways,
what do you think was like? Was it difficult because like, okay, let's take the first video. You do fucks with me, and you like didn't want to do that, or you didn't like the vibe, like what you felt like you were being portrayed as. You kind of how hard is that to fight in LA? Like you want to make it seem like you're massive or whatever it is.
I think for the first couple months that I was working with Riveting, I felt like we weren't on the same page as like I feel like they were trying to market me with like sex appeal, and I was like, yo, I'm not that sexy. So I was just like, you know what I mean? Like they were like, oh, like we're just gonna mark you as like the Justin Bieber, but like the rap Justin Bieber, and I'm like, I'm not that attractive though. I'm like, you know what I mean? So just let me be good at rapping, and then let me be myself and be like kind of personable or funny or relatable or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like,
so is that a struggle trying to fight through that? Like,
yeah. So I mean, I think that's why I said yes to so many things. At first, we were just kind of like figuring stuff out, and we just didn't have like the same vision because I guess I didn't really know what I wanted to do with music because I didn't know what was fucking possible.
And you're trusting like the system.
And like I didn't grow up wanting to be a rapper or anything. Like a lot of kids that are professional rappers, they're like, oh, I've been rapping since I was 13. I was getting in the studio and we were making these songs. I just remember I was like, oh, I'm gonna be huge. It's like, dude, I hated performing. I hated doing a presentation to a class of 20 people until I was 22 years old.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And now I'm like way more comfortable with it. Now nothing
easy
like makes me nervous or anything. But yeah, I just didn't envision it. So I didn't have like 15 years for this dream to marinate. So I just didn't know how I really wanted to be. So the first like 6 months to a year, we did a couple videos and shit where I was just like, man, I don't know if this is too clean. This is too like pretty. And then we started to take on the funny personality shit, which was more of my thing. Yeah. Like we did The Kill, which is a jukebox beat. Daniel CZ directed that one, which is like some funny shit with the girls with the bunny heads and they like throw me in the trunk. Dope. You know what I mean? And Danny Trejo's in it, Machete. But yeah, so and then all the way up to Hold Up and these records where I'm like being a clown. Yeah. And that just feels better for me to like not take myself that seriously.
I remember like the first video that I helped out, I don't even know what I think I was just chilling. Maybe I was doing playback for you guys or something because I was just coming along. But
my video?
Yeah, for one of your videos. It was Trevor Jackson.
Oh, Going Off.
Going Off. Yeah.
Which is a cool ass video, but to be honest, still doesn't like really fit my shit. Yeah.
That's what I was seeing. I was like noticing that, and I was just seeing like this, like it was like you were, two things were hitting each other in the head. And it just
it's like I got it. Like I was like, this is cool to me, but it just wasn't what I really like. Well, it didn't feel natural.
No, it would have been.
It was like I totally saw it. Yeah, I totally saw it. I was like, yo, this is dope. This is a dope idea. I love this. It was like the in the background we had all those TVs, like all these shitty TVs that were all playing like videos of me growing up and shit. I was like, oh, it's cool. It kind of shows me growing up. But it was just, every visual was just so pretty.
Yeah, it was super pretty.
And so it all kind of came back to that like that beginning Justin Bieber shit where I was like, dude, I just don't want to I don't want to care about how I look because. Like in high school and shit, I was just the guy who wore gym shorts. I wore gym shorts underneath my fucking big old bootcut jeans and t-shirts that didn't match because I didn't give a fuck. No. All I cared about growing up was basketball.
Right.
And so like I just wanted to be able to get out of school, go in the gym, drop my jeans and play.
Right.
And I didn't care about like girls thinking I was sexy or anything. So like I don't want to turn 25 and all of a sudden give a fuck about trying to be attractive.
True. Damn, that's super interesting.
So it's just like for 25 years I didn't give a fuck about how I looked, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to care about how I look every day.
Yeah, so I remember when we did Michael Bay, and I remember there was like. So we did this video in the LA River. We exploded a car, which I got an ill ass drone shot of. Which at the time, still eally on, no one knew about that. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go up and get it. But blew up car in the river, and I remember at one point I like looked over when I came back.
The river is not a river.
No, yeah, it's the LA River.
Yeah,
Greece.
There's no,
Grease.
there's like not hardly even running water. Except Sandler slipped and fell.
Yeah, it was dangerous as fuck. There was like one
Yeah,
spot
'cause
that
it's
was
all
super
grimy and shit, gross and shit. Sandler slips and falls and gets
fucked his
fucking
elbow.
hepatitis or
Yeah,
something.
but
Anyways.
I remember coming back and I looked over, and at one point you're like sitting there, you're like rapping in front of the car and shit. I got some tight pictures of that, I think. And then the next scene I look over and you got your shirt off and you're like rapping. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
I did like that though.
It turned out tight?
I did like that shot because I was right in front of the fire. It was hot as a motherfucker.
It probably was hot. I just didn't see you as like the...
But you know what I did though? I told him, I was like, only shoot from the neck up on that shot. Because I didn't want to, I still don't even, like, I'm in much better shape than I was back then.
I was going to
too.
say, just the other day, me and Cal were sitting there and he
It's a
fucking
pause
has
moment.
got a super
This
pause
is
moment.
a super pause moment before you even
Motherfucker's getting a
say it.
6-pack and shit now. And I mean...
So I've been working on that shit, but I still feel like I would be a huge douchebag if I even post a fucking
Like
video.
a Bieber comes out and it makes sense. Like you see Bieber with the shirt off and you're like, all right, that makes sense. But it wouldn't have made sense at the time for me to see you just like walking around like, yeah. I'm like, no.
It probably would make sense if that fit my personality, but it just doesn't.
Right, I feel you.
I just like, it's not something I'm like really interested in that being like. I don't want anybody to like me for that reason.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like what I post on Instagram and stuff. I want to post more rap shit on Instagram than pro photos and shit because I don't want my followers to just be like, oh yeah, I follow him because I like his photos.
Studio photos.
Yeah, it's like, no, I want you to follow me because you like my rap. I want you to listen to my rap because you like me and my rap.
Right.
Not because of like the content I post or how I look or whatever.
Was it difficult? You're in an interesting position because you could like voice your feelings and you're feeling like, okay, I want to go back to what it was and try to have this like looser vibe with my music and shit. But not a lot of people could have done that. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of artists got signed to labels and they have to follow whatever it is.
Yeah, which is why I think, when I say it's like Riveting has at times operated like an independent label, but when I say I'm not signed, that's why I say I'm not signed.
Right.
Because we can do whatever the fuck we want, and my team has always encouraged me to do whatever the fuck we want. Like I think for the first couple of years, I would let them try some shit and we would see how it turned out, and I would try some shit and we'd see how it turned out, and like we would take the positive and negative from each situation and be like, okay, probably not a good idea to do this, probably a better idea to do this. So that's why like everything we do now costs like no money. We fucking went to, when we shot the Rain video, me and Edgar literally drove out 4 hours out to the desert and climbed a dune, like these sand dunes, for like 2 hours in fucking jeans and Jordans, carrying the equipment ourselves, carrying a camera bag and a fucking drone for 2 hours, hiking up this thing. Did it all by ourselves, so it cost no money.
Right.
And got a dope video out of it. The video probably looks like it cost like $40,000, real clean cut and whatever. But
yeah.
Damn. I like doing shit with no budget because that's like when I first made music, everything was no budget. I didn't have any money.
You didn't even know to imagine that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was like, what? Maybe like I might spend $100 to try to shoot a video.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. To buy like
Tops.
some food or like buy like fucking spray paint or something.
Tops, right. But the alternative to like fucks with me, that video was just, we went to Sarah's mom's house and took a bunch of her like costume clothes, like dress up clothes.
Yeah.
We used that. That's what we used. Like we didn't pay for anything. We didn't go to Goodwill or anything. But
so what, like coming out here and you have to, you start working with Chris and you coin Ancient Change. That's like the most pinnacle moment in your career as far as anyone could be concerned, because they see this rise. Now you're in the studio just hearing his music. You're like, oh fuck. And Drake walks in, oh fuck. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward to like a year later.
Well, not even a year after that. Like Chris posted, he was like, yo, you gotta listen to my boy Cal on Twitter. He was like, yo, you gotta listen to my boy Cal, like Real Spitter or something like that. And he posted like a SoundCloud link of mine to a song called Game 6. So I knew that Chris actually fucked with me,
right?
Because he did that. Like Andrew didn't ask him or something. I was at Andrew's house at the time, and so I knew Chris like fucked with me. So when I finally got in the studio and had some joints, me and Sonny were working on some joints, and I got to press play on him. Like when he was recording records, he just had a break, and I got to press play on him. And I played a couple of them. The first one I played was Wasted. And the second one I played was Ain't Shit Changed, and he was like, "Yo, you got a verse on that? Like, you got an open spot on that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's only got like
open forever."
Yeah, I was. I mean, and at the time I had both verses taken.
Yeah,
like I had the first and second verse, but I was like, I'll just fucking
let you.
Yeah, no doubt. And so he hopped in there and cut it in like probably a half hour or something like that. And
damn, while you were there, so it went from playing it to him hearing it to let me in the booth.
Yeah,
and you had a song.
Yep. And that's again what we're talking about though, like where you never know what's gonna happen.
That's amazing. That's like the best part about this shit. I love it every day. You just run into someone and you're talking to them, and out of nowhere you're like, "Oh shit, you're the person that."
Because usually the shit that you are counting on, also usually that shit never happens
ever.
Usually the shit where you're like, "Oh cool, I might go on tour with this person, or I might whatever." Usually like that shit. It might span for 2 months and it never happens. But then like you might get a call where they call you the day before. They're like, "Hey, we're going on tour like tomorrow for 2 months. Can you roll?" You know what I mean? You're
crazy,
like,
right?
You're
that's
like,
exactly
fuck.
what fucking happens.
Exactly.
Every time. Like, damn. And I think that's cool, and I think that's also like the people paying attention to shit because, you know, Drew paid attention to you because someone told him to, and he just probably trusted them. So, all right, cool, I'll listen. And now it's in a position where he'll put you out there because, you know, he believes in what you're doing, and that's like a good person to have in your corner.
And that's what I think it takes. It probably just took a little bit of time. Like I said, I didn't want to shoot that fucks with me and stuff like that, but I wanted to trust his views too, you know, because he's been making these videos for a long time. So I'm like, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to videos. Let's shoot it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I put it out, and I didn't have a good gut feeling about it. And then I saw the comments. My fans.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say, how do your fans react? Over that first?
They didn't like it. So, and they said so in the comments.
What about the next few videos? Like, are they starting to what do they think?
There was a disconnect because they were like, "How do you go from making super shitty video, not super shitty." I like my old videographers doing that
but
thing.
they know what it is.
But
it's
yeah,
different from
but making no budget videos, they're like, how do you shoot this now? This looks like a fucking movie.
Yeah,
and
that's
I mean,
weird for a fan.
For a fan, especially with no explanation. So they're like, it looks like, oh, Cal's just got money now, and they're just throwing money at it. But that's not necessarily the case. It's more like Cal's got resources now.
For sure. Which is funny because I think as a fan, most fans usually are rooting for this artist. They're the underdog artist. Like, dog, you're going to be huge someday. And then as soon as they get there, like, dog, you're too big.
And I don't like it. Yeah, I deal with that shit all the time, and I get really frustrated about it because like people on Instagram especially, they feel like you should be doing what they want you to do. Like that you should be making the music that they want you to make. And I'm just not that person. So my roommate puts it, he's a goofball. He tells a story where he's like, it's about like a snail that's on the side of the road and he's selling melons or something. He's a weirdo. But somebody comes up and they say, "Oh, I want broccoli. You used to sell broccoli here." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I don't sell broccoli anymore. I sell melons." And he's like, "Oh, well, I want broccoli." He's like, "All right, well, then go fucking down the road and find some broccoli." You know what I mean? Like, go somewhere else if you don't like my music. Don't tell me to change back to whatever. Plus, the reason you like my old music anyways is because of who you were when you listened to my music, not because of who I am or what the music I make is. It just happened to connect with you at the time. So if I don't still connect with you, then don't listen to me anymore.
Right.
But don't tell me what to do. I always call them fake fans. And I think a lot of people take that personally, but like, you're not a real fan of me or my music if you want me to be different.
Right.
You know, I think like your friends or your significant other or whatever, like you just accept their flaws, you know, for like, you just accept them for who they are. But like this one girl hit me and was like, "Oh, I love you and your music. I just think you should be more humble. Like you need to be more humble in this situation." I'm like, "Shut up. No, I don't." Like, humble
for what?
No, and first of all, I'm like, you don't even know me. You know, like my own online persona and you know what you hear in music.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I just don't fuck with people wanting you to be
It'd be a different case if you like came here and became a fucking heroin addict and rapped about doing fucking heroin all day.
Right.
Like, yo,
if everything was
changed, bro. Like, go back to who you were. You were clean and healthy, and that'd be a different situation. But
and yeah, if you have a personal involvement, like if you think I'm like damaging young minds or something,
for sure.
But even then, it's like that's my shit, and you don't have to listen to it. You can discourage it all you want, but like you can't really cleanse the art. Like you just accept it for.
Yeah, can you imagine if they would have stopped Tyler the Creator when he started his shit?
Yeah.
Fucking Eminem when he started his shit. Like any artist that's had any controversy ever, like
Exactly.
You can't stop someone.
And there's just so many people that try to tell me what to make. So I feel like maybe with my management at first, I kind of like let them call some shots as far as let's do this. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but all right, we can do that.
Right.
And then I think they did the same thing for me. They were like, we don't really want you to do that, but go ahead and do that. And so we were just kind of like figuring out what works.
Yeah, it's trial and error every time. So what do you think with like the way your music has evolved more recently? What are you most proud of?
I don't know. I think I like where my music's headed more than anything, which is like I've never really had a vision of what my sound is going to be because I just like so many different kinds of music, like so many different kinds of rap. Because I used to be like me and Mark call a lyrical, spherical, miracle rapper, where you're just rapping like syllables and that's it all the time, like Eminem type shit, Logic or whatever. And now I'm like singing and I got unreleased shit where I'm like hitting falsetto and stuff. And that's cool to me because I like The Weeknd, or I like Migos, or I like Travis Scott or whatever. Yeah. So I'm throwing distortion in. So I'm just kind of like listening to all my favorite artists, which are, I have a lot of different artists that I like, and taking like little shit that I like from them and incorporating it like with my own creativity.
That's sick.
And so like my sound's still evolving like a lot and still has a long way to go to like be somewhere where I feel like it's just me and it's so unique and whatever. But it's just exciting to be like throwing all these curveballs in where it used to be just like rapping and shit.
You know what's crazy is like you come out with Ain't Shit Change and that just popped off. You know what I mean? People just ate it up. And then I knew that you had Welcome to My Life forever because I remember when I fucking moved here. Like when I first started working on Chris's documentary, Andrew was in the car with me. We just went to the Grove, I think, for my first time. And I'm like coming back. He's dropped me off and he's like, yeah, so we're like, I think the documentary is going to be called Welcome to My Life. Like, check out this song. You know, Cal, like, he has a song. I think it's going to be sick. And I think Chris is going to hop on the chorus. And at the time, it was Corbett, yeah,
the producer.
Yeah, so he's a producer, and like he had written the hook and shit, or the chorus, and like he sang it. He sounded great. Dude sounds really good. But he had written it, so we had that track, and it's you rapping, and we just like put it in the end right off the, like once we got to creating the whole film, it ended with these like fake credits, and we'd always hear Welcome to My Life, but it always had that other dude on it. Yeah, and I think we sat on it forever before Chris ever like recorded.
Actually.
And even at one point, I think he even was like, it's kind of tight, just like, let's leave the guy in there. Which I was like, I mean, that's cool, but it just makes so much more sense that this is like,
to be Chris.
Yeah, your song. But it's crazy to know.
And like the song accidentally applied to Chris so much. It was like almost weird because I did do the song like a while before the documentary dropped, or before we even made the decision to put it in there. And there's like I have that Lamborghini line and stuff, and like all the shit that went down in the Lamborghini, and it just like it was like such a direct connect to Chris's life and like the story that just got told.
Right.
So it made a lot of sense.
It's super sense, and like it's cool to know. Like we all knew that was there, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You got two records, but for the longest time, the documentary wasn't coming out yet, so it just didn't exist, and like the follow up was gonna be so cool. But then to go and have the film come out, and we were all at the fucking premiere of the documentary. Chris is there, fucking Diddy's there, Tygo's there, everyone was there. I don't remember all the fucking cool key players, but we were sitting there walking the red carpet together, like that shit, walking in. Cameras are there. People are going nuts. You're walking in with the fucking grill and shit. Some like, I don't remember what else you were wearing, but like this shit.
Yeah, that velour. I had that motherfucking velour hoodie, like the smooth velour.
Where'd you get that at?
I don't remember. I don't know. I felt like a cool boy.
Very cool.
Felt like a cool boy.
It was a cool night.
I didn't, but I had shades on.
Shades,
I had the shades inside, which I welcome that for once. Like I'm not even that kind of dude ever.
But they were tight.
But it felt. But
it was a movie premiere, dog.
It
like,
felt
you
good.
could play off like, and so he comes in and we get to sit down and we watch the movie for the first time, which was crazy for me. I remember like, because we hadn't seen it in its entirety in like forever. Like especially playing in a theater, for quality wise, like. You just hope it looks good. So I remember sitting there, be like, "Fuck, man, this whole theater is packed out. It's about to play in theaters all over the nation tomorrow. This better be dope." And then it plays so well, and at the very end, that fucking record comes on. I'm just like, "Damn."
Yeah, it was a cool moment.
A very cool fucking moment, dog. We're from the Midwest, bro. Like, then we moved out here not knowing each other and have a project together.
Especially like that hook was just so good anyways.
It was so
the verses
good.
Like, to be honest, the verses to me, like, yeah, like I said, it was well written, but by the time the song came out, it was so old to me.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you didn't like it that much.
Yeah, just like the delivery of it. It was so much my old style, which was like super aggressive, mad white dude, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of shit that it was. And so, I mean, I like the record. I think it's cool. Like, it is what it is. But I just think that it's such an old sound for me that it's like I almost don't even feel like I'm still that person anymore.
Right. Do you think is there like a struggle? I mean, I think every white rapper is probably always going to face one, but have you faced any critical moments as a white artist in this hip hop world? Like,
yeah, I think like there's benefits and there's positive and negative aspects of being a white artist. I think that positive aspects, I think that, to be completely honest, like demographics are more drawn to you. Like the white college kid demographic love white rappers. They just have since like they love I Love College, Jordan Belfort or whatever. Those songs just like resonate with people, especially when they look similar to the artist.
Right. That makes sense.
So like it like that's definitely a real advantage, is that you can grow like a certain fan base. And like, cause I have a lot of people, I'm actually glad that we're doing this podcast, because like you can't really talk about this in radio interviews. They just try to get me like bang, bang, bang. But I actually have a real problem with people who get on Twitter and tell me, they're like, oh, I don't even like rap, but I like Cal Scruby. And I'm like, I'm like, you don't like rap at all, but you like my music. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying directly that this person is prejudiced, but like, I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to play devil's advocate and like find a reason why this person, is not.
It's weird, right?
Because if all you like is white rappers, then I don't think you even like rap. I think you like white people.
Right? They like white people.
Yeah, I said that about Eminem when Eminem did the Trump thing. I love Eminem. I think he's great. I didn't think that the Trump thing was like, I was just really fucking happy that he did it. I didn't think he like killed it or anything.
Really?
But I didn't think he killed it at all. But I really was glad he did it, because I don't fuck with Trump at all. And a lot of people were like, fuck Eminem. This is another thing where it's like, I didn't recruit you as a fan. So people are like, I can't believe he would do this to his fans. Like, you just lost a fan. He didn't fucking recruit you anyways.
He says it at the end of the line.
Exactly.
Or at the end of the rap. Like, if you cross the line, you're not a fan of mine, or whatever it was.
Exactly. He's like, fuck you anyways.
Yeah.
And we don't fucking choose who our fans are.
No.
That's why it's like, no, I'm not going to change who I am. But anyways, I was like, if you are not a fan of Eminem after the Trump rap, then you were never a fan of him anyways. You just liked the white guy. You were never been a fan of rap. You were a fan of the white guy who was good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, the 8 Mile, rap in the mirror, look cool, walks out, gets like chicks and shit. Like, that's what you love.
Exactly.
That's interesting. And you know what? Another con of that is like being a college rapper or being able to perform to that crowd is a good way to gain fans, but it's hard to gain lasting fans, because they eventually get their full-time jobs and have to stop listening to that shit because they got a fucking kid coming on the way, and like they don't want this shit to. They're not fucking bitches randomly anymore. They're not doing whatever the rap shit. Not doing
the lifestyle. The lifestyle's different.
It changes, so it's hard, because you see a lot of cool college rap like artists come out and then they disappear. Like, remember the Dean's List? You remember them? Like, they were huge. I remember I opened for them, and then out of nowhere they just like vanished, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's all kinds of artists like that. Where Chitty Bang. Yep, I fucking love Chitty Bang.
They split up though, so it's a little different. But yeah, man.
Zaf Jones or whatever his name was. What was his name?
Zaffoon Jones.
That dude was tight.
You're doing the Mike Jones accent with it. You're going Mike Jones.
8004.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. That's an interesting take on it. But have you ever ran into any like direct conflict? Have you ever had someone? Because it's always weird. Like,
not any issues. I think. Where, I mean, there's definitely artists who don't fuck with white people. Like, I've heard especially from certain people connected to certain people. They're like, yeah, he just don't really fuck with white rappers, whether it be like vlog people like or podcast people who just don't like, and that is like, that's fine with me. That's not really for me to say. I always think an interesting argument is the culture vulture argument, the cultural appropriation argument,
right?
Because rap is it's a foundation of black culture. Like it's like it was started by the black culture, and so like I'm a white dude that's doing something that's predominantly something of another culture,
right? Yeah.
So like I always like to participate in that discussion. I don't like when people fucking get mad about it,
right?
Because I think that the discussion is healthy,
right?
But I think that like when people start accusing other people of cultural appropriation, then it gets iffy. It's like the Miley Cyrus thing where they're like, oh, you weren't popping, but you wanted to be popping again, and so you did this song with Mike Will and stuff. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know her personally, but it's like I think that ultimately hip hop grew because of that.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that that's probably a better lasting effect than the small boost in Miley Cyrus's career from that. I don't know.
So what's your plans for the future? You just dropped a gang of music, then he was just back in Ohio. Whenever Cal flies home to Ohio, shit looks lit on Instagram because you just go back and the hometown hero arrives.
Yeah, I like going home. Ohio makes me feel good about myself.
That's good.
Yeah, because I'm out here and I've probably been recognized like 10 times in 3 years out here. I also never go outside.
I was gonna say I was just with you. You got recognized when we were at fucking Saddle Ranch. Yeah. We were at Saddle Ranch, which is a very touristy type spot, and we were like chilling there. And the kid came up to you, and what did he say?
He just I was wearing that long story short hoodie, like my own merch, and he was like, oh, I wanted to say hi. I wasn't sure if it was you, but I saw you wearing a hoodie, like. Yeah, I just didn't want to feel like an asshole if it wasn't you. But
that's
yeah,
so funny.
I just want to say what up.
And I was like, yo, hey, shit changed. I edited it. And he had started following me. And he stared messaging me. And now he wants to go to my meetup.
You're always stealing my fans,
I
man.
know, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I didn't do that. But it's weird. That's a weird thing, right? Like when you go home, is it kind of crazier? Like people see you and like, oh, shit, I saw it.
It's definitely like, if I go to the mall or something, then a lot, like people will come up to me, or like if I'm at the food court. Like one time I was eating a Chipotle burrito and I look over and this bitch is like taking a photo of me. I'm like, just come say what up so that the photo's not like.
You should take a photo back.
I should start just snapping a photo like Kendrick did when he got to the airport.
Yeah, started filming him back. Dude, I was one time walking with Andrew to go to Starbucks right over here, and we were coming back and like this dude was driving on the opposite side, like passing us on Sunset, and literally. Like, we look at each other, and I see him kind of look at us, but it was weird. And he whips a U-turn, like, in the middle of traffic, like Sunset, crazy, packed out.
He's a driver?
He's driving a car. And he comes up behind us, and, like, it was weird because I saw him, and then it took a few seconds, but then he turned around, and he comes up again. He's kind of looking at us, and he's, like, kind of rolling with us, and there's a dude in the back of his car. And I'm like, he's like, hey. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what do you need? He's like, Ben Real? And I'm like... yeah, what the fuck? And he's like, dog, oh shit, I'm a huge fan, bro. We gotta work together. We gotta work on some shit. I think he was a rapper or something.
I love how you go like this, as if he wasn't in a car. Like you guys are dabbing.
We did. No, I walked up to the window.
Oh,
because I walked up to the window. I'm like, what's good?
I'm like, bro, you guys are 20 feet away.
No,
like,
I walked up to him.
Stretch your arms strong.
But this is the best part.
Yeah.
We dab up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to him. He's like, we got a link. I've seen all your shit, blah blah blah. And I like look in the back of the car, and there's this white dude that's just like. Middle age, like maybe he's like 40. He's just sitting back there, and I'm like, what are you up to? And he's like, oh, I'm driving Uber, bro. And he's like, yeah, I just do Uber and shit to make my money, and I do this. And this dude is taking an Uber ride. This dude whips a Yui on Sunset with his fucking guy in the back.
Dude's just like,
and he's just sitting there quiet as fuck. Like, this is the weirdest interaction. He's like, all right, bro, we got a link, bro. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna DM you, okay? I'm gonna get your number and shit. I'm like, all right.
What do you think he said? Do you think he was like, hold up? Like when he was driving, you think to the passenger?
He's like, for sure, this is an opportunity for me.
He's like, yo, hold on 1 second. I'm about to pull this U-turn. And
is that not crazy? That was a trip.
That's insane. That's aggressive.
That was super aggressive. That was weird.
That's aggressive. That's like...
that was tight.
Swim fan shit.
I thought that was pretty tight. I was like, damn, I fuck with this guy. Like, really, like, fuck my job.
Yeah, he just said, fuck my job just to go dap.
God damn, I hope he got 5 stars.
I hope he did too. He probably did not. I would not.
No, he definitely didn't. But yo, so Cal goes home to Ohio. This is why we're talking about Ohio. He goes home to Ohio and is playing shows, and his fucking he had been writing more recently. He's been writing music on by himself, recording, writing the shit, which has been impressive to hear you're mixing because it's like actually.
Yeah, I suck at mixing. That's something I need to get better at. But my roommate Mark is really good.
Oh,
and so he set me up. Well, he set me up with this really nice template.
Oh yeah.
So like when I record everything, it already sounds pretty good. So I can just do little things to it that I know how to do.
Right. That's what my friend did that for this podcast. And it's just little presets or whatever. But yeah, so he has all his music on his laptop, and his laptop gets fucking stolen at this show. And all of your new shit, all of this shit that you're proud of for looking forward to the future music is like robbed.
Yeah,
so
literally.
How did that fucking feel?
I don't know, man. I'm like
not trying to think about it.
Well, no, I don't really care about it anymore. I don't care about what's been lost. I just hate. I'm always trying to be so fucking nice to people, and I think I need to. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I'm just so fucking nice to everyone all the time. I'm a pretty grumpy ass dude a lot of time, pretty pessimistic and cynical and whatever. But I think I just trust people so much, even though like this shit has happened to me before, not like the computer thing, but I've gotten shit robbed from me before. Right. And I think that it sucks. It sets me up. It puts me in a position where like I'm gonna have to start telling people no when it comes to like access and this and that. And it's gonna make me feel like an asshole, and a lot of people are probably gonna think I'm an asshole because I don't let them do certain shit, and I don't let a lot of people close to me, because I try to just be like really fucking nice and personable and not be an inconvenience to anybody ever. Whatever.
Right.
But now I think I gotta be like, no, no, you guys can't be back here. You can't come back here. Tell the promoter like, hey, you can't. Everybody needs a fucking pass if you're gonna be back here. Like. I need to hold people more accountable and shit.
You never know what can happen, bro.
Yeah, and so it's like that's the worst part about it is that I think ultimately I lost a little bit of faith in humanity because I'm like, man, this is my life on this laptop. This is like since I dropped the project June 30th, and then this got stolen October 27th. So that's what 5 months.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it's like. Yeah.
You were really optimistic about it though, because when I talked to you about it, I was like, "Do you have any of it saved?" You're like, "Nah, but I remember the shit that was good." So you're just gonna try to recreate what was already.
I mean, I remember the shit that I really liked. I think a lot of it was good, but I think it was so cluttered anyways. Like there were so many half-ass documents on there that were just like some written ideas and whatever. That it almost was like a cleanse. Yeah. And once it's gone, like I was mad. I was sad. Then I was mad. It was the process of when you like lose a person. It's the process of like when somebody dies and you go through that grieving process. That the cycle. I don't know what the 5 steps are, but there's like 5 steps of it, and it's like sad, mad, then acceptance. So it's like I finally got to the point where I accepted what had happened, but. I think the damaging effect, the long-term effect, is that I just don't fuck with a lot of people anymore. It's just like because the people who I let back there, you could only get to the green room by coming on the stage. Right. So it had to be somebody that had been in and out of the green room all night. So all these people who I was just letting back there, sharing drinks with them that I had bought. Right. And just trying to be a good person. I'm like, you took 5 months, more than 5 months of work. I mean, because I've had a laptop since 2012. So you took 5 months of my favorite work, and you took 6 years of work that just random shit, whatever, just life, whatever. Yeah. Like letters, fucking love letters, or like letters to my dad, and my mom and dad and shit.
Fuck, man.
You took all that shit for what? Parts?
Yeah, maybe you sell it for like $200
tops. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like what you take the screen out.
Fucked up, bro.
That's my life. That's my entire career.
The other thing that I thought was like a moment, like a cool moment that I wanted to go back to. Not the laptop shit was not a cool moment, but
another tight thing
that I liked that happened to you that was shitty. No, what I love was you had done Ain't Shit Change, and like we talk about it because I hate it because it's like we're an hour and a half into this, but we could have these conversations forever. And we were having this conversation before the podcast started about like how insane these moments are for us internally, and it's something that you can never repeat like physically for someone to understand emotionally and physically, like to understand like what you went through, or the times like just the other night when we were sitting there and Liquor came on by Chris Brown, and we both were there, like those music videos, like I'm there on set in the editing bay. It brings that, as soon as that song starts, it brings me to a time that's just so interesting. It was like the hustle time, or it was like the very beginning stages of like my career. And for you, it's like the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you have these moments that it's just like you can never tell the person like back home, like you don't understand how important this was or how meaningful this was to me, because I've been thinking about this. It might not ever make sense to you because you don't know who that person is, but it makes sense to me. And for you to have done Ain't Shit Change, have Chris on your record, have it go out. He was in the music video. You shot a fucking music video with Chris Brown in Venice Beach doing White Man Can't Jump. Like, that's crazy. And then to go to you went to Miami to catch one of his shows, and I told you I was in.
Yeah, but that was before the video. That was when the project was coming out, which had the song on it. So yeah.
But like you have all these, like it's crazy, and then all of a sudden you're back. You goes through the show in Florida, and I think you were backstage. Was Khaled there?
Yeah, we were backstage for a minute. I don't know if Khaled was there.
But there was a time where someone's filming it, and like Ain't Shit Change is playing, and
in
Chris
the dressing
is, like,
room, and Chris is rapping his shit. I'm rapping my shit.
Yeah, and like, it's just like the coolest moment. I'll post that shit in the show notes too. But like then whatever, you're backstage, you go out, and the show starts or whatever. And you catch yourself like writing a message to your fans or wherever you were going to post it, Facebook, or writing a message to people that whoever was going to read. And he tells a story like there's like all these girls that are there freaking out because Chris is coming out, and Cal's sitting there writing the message, and he's just like so emotionally connected that he starts just bawling his eyes out because it's like one of those moments, and just starts crying
at a Chris show.
And he starts realizing that it's going to look kind of suspect that he is crying with these 13-year-old girls.
I'm not the only one crying there, but I'm the only straight 25-year-old male just at the show that's crying,
bawling. Yeah. What was that like? What was that for you?
I mean, it was like I was writing like a big Facebook post because it was like right before my first project would come out on iTunes, and this is when streaming like wasn't huge yet, so like iTunes still mattered,
right?
And I was happy with, I was excited, whatever. It was my birthday at midnight. I was in Miami at the United Airlines Arena, or not the United Center, that's Chicago, United Airlines, sure. Watching Chris's show and his amazing performer, packed house, whatever. You just had the backstage thing where we're both rapping and shit.
You feel like a rock star.
Yeah, and so I'm like typing this message where, to be honest, like I just wanted. I was writing as a writer, like sometimes you control the narrative, so you're like some things that you say are rhetorical. So like, so part of the purpose of it was for me to was promotion. Part of the purpose of this big letter and thank you and whatever was like because I wanted people to buy it. But then like halfway through it, it was so genuine, and sometimes you never get a chance to like reflect on what you've been going through and shit. And so finally I just look back at the year and a half before that and my first 2 years of making music and everything. I was like, holy shit, like this is kind of crazy. And then I just start fucking bawling hysterically, and I just go bury myself in the corner of like the little VIP, which is like not backstage, it's actually like really far away on the floor.
Right.
Excuse me. And I'm like looking up, and there's literally like 13-year-old girls like crying right there. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I can't do this.
Damn.
And then I finished it, and then finally I was good. But I was a little drunk too, so like that didn't help. Probably.
Yeah, but what a fucking moment. Like, like very big moment.
It was cool. Like I'm not ashamed at all about fucking crying about something like that, because I think that when. Like I said, you never get a chance to reflect because you live with yourself every fucking day. And so you grow so gradually to yourself that it's not even noticeable.
Right.
And sometimes like you will just, every day seems so slow when it's happening, and but then they all fucking rack up. Like it's almost the end of 2017 already. And so if you don't take a moment, like I don't think you even can take a moment. I think it takes a moment for you to like reflect on what has happened over X amount of months or years or whatever. So the moment just presented itself where like I was going to reflect on that. It was like life was just forcing me to reflect on this, because I don't think you can do it by choice.
Crazy.
And I just fucking lost it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, dude. That's fucking a trip. I love watching it. I love watching you grow, because I've been here for almost all of it. Like,
all of it.
Not all of it, but
pretty much all of it, though.
Damn near.
And likewise. I mean, that's... it's been crazy to watch you get more likes than me on Instagram. I don't like it.
You're a fucking cornball. All right. So before, like earlier today, I asked in the private group, which you're part of, but you never use Facebook, so you don't even see his shit.
Sorry, guys.
I'll make him tune in one day. Maybe that would be tight, because I said before what I really wanted was to do like Q&As, like Reddit type shit, but do it in
live
the group.
or something.
Which I don't know how active it would be, but we're growing. We're growing a little bit.
We get 12 people in there.
Yeah, we just got like 14 or 12, 1,300 maybe. Like we got like 400 new members in the last week. Shout out to my homie Josh. Josh plugged it on.
Oh
his
yeah,
YouTube channel.
Josh, the guy. That's my guy.
That's right. But anyway, so I asked them to like ask questions to you. I want to bang these out quick. You don't have to. They don't have to be like long answers or whatever. But
Essays.
yeah. So this kid Tyler Casey says, starting out, how important did you think music videos were for your career? Did you work with a specific director? How'd you go about picking out your directors? Which we've already talked about. But how did you go about picking these guys that shot the shit?
The first guys that shot my shit were just like my friends. And so I saw my one friend had shot like a video. I saw one of his videos online of an ant crawling on a tree, like a up close video of an ant. And I was like, "Oh, you shoot videos?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Could you shoot a music video?" He was like, "Yeah." So like I thought. I mean, I figured out quickly that they were important, but and I don't think they're as important necessarily as they were a couple years ago. They're still really important because it's all about like building your image and stuff. People want to see who's making the music too.
But back then it was hard to shoot them, like we said, like budget, having gear,
and having something nice. But it was also like less pressure because it was like, what can we do with this low budget? Nothing, whatever. But yeah, so I think my advice to new artists is like, people always ask me like, people ask me questions like that. I'm like, dude, just find somebody who likes to shoot. You know what I mean? You probably did the same shit when you were making music. You're like, we can just make this happen with anybody that wants to be a part of it.
Every day.
And so it was my guy Paul and Jordan. Like they just wanted to be a part of it. Like
and be creative. Like that shit was fun.
And I asked them because I was like, yo, you fucking do this, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with rap, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing with video, but you have a camera and I have a microphone, so let's fucking shoot something.
Yeah, it's a perfect collab.
Yeah.
The dude Josh Dwyer. It's funny. I wonder if he's related to Lauren.
I hope you would know
Interesting. That. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Hey, Josh, are you related to Lauren?
Why
isn't he answering?
I don't know. Fuck that guy, dude.
Nah. So he said, I'd love to know about your digital marketing techniques, especially in those early stages prior to getting picked up. We'll definitely be tuning in. But I also think right now it's like very important, both sides. But back then, like he said, that piff and all that shit. What else were you doing to market on campus? Were you doing? I did flyers. Like flyers and posters on campus were so crucial.
Jordan, one of my early managers, when I came out with this song about like Ohio State, it was like Ohio State sports themed. It was corny. It was good for being corny.
Yeah,
it was as good as you can make a corny song. And so he would go around at the library and like leave these little ripped pieces of paper that said like Cal Scruby the Nation or whatever on YouTube or whatever. It's not on there anymore.
Right.
I control it. But he would go drop those off. So like super guerrilla marketing, just lowest level grassroots or whatever. I don't know the terms. I wasn't a marketing major. I was a comm major.
It's like guerrilla. We did the same thing with like postcard. You know, you could get like 500 postcards for like $20 or whatever. We did that, and we went around our whole campus and put them in everyone's windshield, and it was dope. It looked fly. The next day, I guess the sun, the shit that we bought,
it whited it out.
No, it melted the cover, like the UV cover or whatever, melted to these people's cars, and campus like found our email on the fucking flyer. The campus police like had called us and like, you have to stop doing this. You damage cars. Like you guys could get arrested for this. This is vandalism.
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck? We're just trying to promote free music. Like, we have no money.
Hustle.
Like we have no way.
Don't.
Yeah. I was terrified. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But what do you do now?
Obvious. I mean, I don't do any of that. I wish we could still do that. It's hard to have hands on the ground like that.
Mm-hmm.
Feet on the ground. Heads on the ground.
I mean, I walk on my hands sometimes.
Hats on the ground.
Do you build do you have any like street team shit? Have you ever done that?
I think we did it early on, and it was cool because like when I would do shows and stuff, they would sell tickets. We still kind of do that when I have home shows, or like shows where I know people in the area where they sell hard tickets.
Right.
And then I just like they can come. Like I just say what up to them. I talk to them like at the shows and shit. But I haven't really done anything like that, just because I've been so focused on making music, and I totally believe that like if I make good music, then all the little marketing stuff doesn't matter as much.
Right.
And it does matter, but I just want to blow up from making good music. I don't want to blow up because my marketing was like the shit.
Right.
But anyways, I think that, I mean, dude, Twitter is important, and because the retweet button is really important. So as much as I don't like necessarily doing backseat raps and shit,
check those out, by the way, if you want. How often do you do those shits?
It goes in waves.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I do like 2 a week. Sometimes I won't do one for like 3 or 4 weeks. But
just so everyone understands, he just basically sits in the back of a car and freestyles.
Yeah, it's just like when I'm riding around with my friends and they're like, "Hey, rap on this beat." I'm like, "Tight."
Cool.
So so I do those, even though I don't love to do them because it's like.
But they get a lot of fucking views.
They do, and that's the benefit. But like, I just think that social media is kind of narcissistic, and I feel like, I don't know. I'm right on the cusp of like knowing that it's important and not using it at all, like age wise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You.
Like my brother's a couple years older than me. He uses it, but like he doesn't really use it. He's just kind of like once a day checking it.
Yeah.
Whereas like kids my age are like checking it a lot, and kids before me are like on it all the time, literally every second of the day.
It's crazy what that can do.
Yeah.
Oh, we did one too. That was fun when you did the Trump thing. Remember when you did?
The face swap.
Was that when Trump was being?
It was before the election.
It was before, yeah. So he had done Snapchat, just came out with the filter shit, and then he was that even a filter, or did you guys VFX the filter?
No, it was a filter.
There was a Trump filter.
We put the phone down, and excuse me.
I'm gonna post this too, by the way.
We put the phone down, and I sat in the same spot every time. And we would just, like, Sarah would press the button and hold it like that. So you can, and we had the shittiest stand for it, so you can see that I slowly start to
like
drip.
it starts moving.
And I would have to get up and change the song because nobody else was helping us. So
That's
just be
so
me.
Fucking funny.
People don't understand how we do shit. Everybody's like, and then when we do something and it's like, it looks like a big production, like, oh man, probably threw a bunch of money at it. I'm like, it was me and somebody else.
Yeah, did all this
and
shit.
Some jeans and Jordans.
But it was tight because what he had to do was literally record 15 seconds at a time for this song.
10 seconds
at a time for Snapchat, and then strung it all together to upload it so you could see like the full rap. But it was really funny. So it
just looked like Donald Trump's ugly fucking face.
And I told him to do the cheat. I said you should rub Cheetos on your face.
I did that.
You did do
at
that,
the
right?
beginning.
Yeah. He puts Cheetos on his face, try to get his skin orange. All right, let's go back. Taylor Lynn. As an artist, what does he specifically look for photographers or videographers? Does he have like an in-house creative, or do you look for new people?
So I like when people hit me up and they're like, hey, here's my work. When people hit me up professionally and they're like, hey, here's my work. So if they like find my email, hey guys, it's not fucking hard to find somebody's email if they are a professional also.
100%.
So don't fucking like tweet at me and say like, hey, can I DM you this? Or, hey, who's your management? Like, something that you can Google and find the answer to. If you're trying to ask me something directly, then you're already missing, like, the first step of professionalism.
Yeah.
So, but if I meet you in person, then it's whatever. That's fair game.
Yeah.
But, so there's some dudes who will just live in the city when I'm performing there and shoot. Because, like, I don't pay a photographer or videographer to come around with me, especially, like, one-off shows and stuff.
Right.
Just because that costs money, and I don't have that fucking money. So I just look like people send me their work and I'll be like, oh, this is tight. Even if it's not like great, I'll be like, sure, come out. And if you want to shoot this, I can't guarantee I'm like going to post any of it. But if you want to shoot it for your own portfolio and your own experience, shoot the other artists I'm with, like whatever you can.
Yeah.
If you need a pass to get in, here you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I understand its importance and everything. I don't know. I want people to fucking win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So, like, if somebody hits me up and they're like, hey, I want to come shoot, I'm like, cool.
Right.
Come do it. You know?
Yeah. So, this dude, Porter Hops, he says, to piggyback off Taylor's question, what's the best way on how photographers, videographers should network with you? And just like you said, look for...
just be a professional. Like, find a contact that's the most professional. If you can't find a contact that's the most professional... If you have any contact, then use that contact to find a more professional contact. So just be like, how can I reach out? Yeah, what's your email or what's somebody's email? What's your manager's email or whatever? Like, don't be like, hey, don't tweet me. Be like, hey, dog, what's your phone number?
And I tell people all the time, I say, like, you have to understand that the internet, so people take it for granted, but you look at it like a DM, like, you deserve to talk to this person, right? Not saying you don't, not saying you're not on equal level, all people are the same, but I'm just saying, like, for someone who is in a position that you look up to, you hit them up as if they have all the time in the world. That's the difference.
Imagine getting, and people like on Snapchat, like I try to reply to everybody on Snapchat and shit, and some people will get mad if I like don't respond to something. It's like, bro, I'm spacey. I don't even respond to my best friend's text sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just like I'm going through whatever.
See it,
so
forget to go back.
Yeah, or like if people are sending me music on Snapchat, it's hard. You can't just like the link that they send me in a Snap text. It doesn't click. Like it doesn't. I can't just click it and go to it. You know what I mean? So that means I would have to save it, copy it, paste it in the thing, watch it. So I don't watch it.
Yeah,
just give me something easy.
And that's another thing I always say. I say anytime you have an interaction, if this is gonna be your first, if I'm gonna try to reach out to you and I'm gonna send you my music or if I'm gonna send you my work, whatever it is. This is an elevator pitch. I say every time you do it, treat it as if it's your first time and your only time in an elevator and you're going from the first to the third floor and you have that much time to pitch yourself. And if you come at me like hit play and start playing a beat and you don't tell me why I should care about this beat, what went into making this beat, anything like that, what kind of person are you? You have to really pitch yourself and do it as proper as fucking possible. So yes, if you're going to reach out and you're going to respond, you probably will respond. You're going to eventually see someone's, oh yeah, hey man, like here's a bunch of shit. And they just fill your feed up with fucking loads of content. And you're like, yo, I can't, what am I supposed to think about this? Like if you say, can I have your email? Can I send you all my photos I take? Can I send you all my videos? And you really break down, this means this to me. I worked on this with no money. This is what I was able to produce, blah, 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 versus just a shit ton of things that make you leave the app.
Right.
It's like very distracting. So you have to know how to pitch and do it as proper as possible and just act like it's your only shot.
Yeah, it's important.
It's your only shot.
It's important. And if you can catch me on a more professional platform, then you'll probably catch me in a more professional mood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're not going to catch me just like on some social media shit where I'm like high as fuck. Just going through shit.
So my homie, Alec Smith, he lives out in Denver. Boston Black with no cream shit. I appreciate it, dog. He says, what's the balance like between time spent making live shows happen versus producing online content when he was undiscovered artist back in Ohio? And if he had to start from scratch again, would he change this approach? If so, what direction would you lean into?
When I was back home in Ohio, I was doing every fucking show I could get my motherfucking paws on. And I actually made a big mistake. I mean, I'm over it now, but it's kind of funny in retrospect because Chance is one of my favorite artists. But I was doing these shows, and they were usually at the same spots because like the same promoters would hit me up, and they're like, "Oh, we got Time Flies coming through. Oh, we got Chip the Ripper coming through." Oh, and I was appealing to all these different demographics too. So it was like, and I was starting this buzz. So people are like, you know, why not just get this kid on these shows because he might be able to sell like 10, 15 tickets.
Hell yeah.
So I was doing all these shows at Scully's, and I was just like, which is a little like, I don't know, 800 cap venue. And they were like, do you want to open for Chance the Rapper? And I was like, I don't know who the fuck Chance the Rapper is. This is before Acid Rap and shit. And so I was like, no, I don't want to open. I opened twice last week. I don't want to open anymore. But other than that, like that's probably the only show that I like. There's other shows I said no to, but like I was doing a lot of gigs though. You know what I mean? And not getting paid at all. Literally $0.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so the one I missed was the fucking Chance one. But yeah, Acid Rap.
Chance tour too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Acid Rap changed the way I make music, but that wasn't out yet. So
Right. Damn.
I didn't know 10 Day at the time.
Emmanuel Clench said.
Wait, what was it? Wait.
Oh yeah, sorry, you didn't even answer that.
Yeah, I was just kind of.
What's the balance?
changing.
I guess what he was asking was
so-
like, how much time were you spending working on your show production versus like your
None.
online? None. Just doing shows.
No,
It's like,
I was
fuck
just.
it.
At first, my live show was just me getting up there rapping, and so and then I found out there was a difference between like putting on a show and
playing.
rapping.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with rapping and making songs.
Right.
Like rapping and making songs are two different things.
100%.
You know. So yeah, I mean, there was no juggling there. It was only time. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna go do this gig, and it'll take me an hour and a half or whatever.
So if you had to do it again, what would you do different?
I don't know if I would do anything different. I don't think, at that point I was just trying to impress people with content rather than entertainment factor. Like I wasn't trying to get up there and be like, I can sing and dance, and you know what I mean. Like I wasn't trying to do any of that. I was just trying to be like, I would do acapella shit every show because I'd be like, shut the fuck up and listen to me rap real quick because that's why I want you to follow me anyways.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think I would do like right now. I'm telling Drew, I'm like, don't book any shows. Like with these last 3 shows that we did in Ohio and shit in Kentucky, I didn't want to really do them because I want to put out a ton of music before before I do another show because I want my show to be like completely different.
Right.
And like next level. But I did them anyways because it was like, you know, because I'm a starving artist.
That's right. God damn it. Get
need
that
some
money.
bread.
So what Manuel was saying was, I also wanted to know how the hip hop scene is treating him as a rapper. Is it what he had always expected? And we touched on it a little bit, but
yeah, I guess people aren't very nice all the time.
Yeah.
Not that I expected them to be. And I'm a pretty introverted person. I like people, and I feel like I'm nice to people, most people, especially if they're nice to me. But I'm not really concerned, I guess, with other people. I'm coming to the realization that I'm just whatever is gonna happen to me is gonna be like something that I do, and it's not going to be necessarily because of a connection. Because I thought I got a song with Chris Brown, I got it.
Right.
You know, I was like, oh yeah, it's bread. No, I got it, bitches.
Yeah.
I thought I had it, and then, but I realized it's a step. It's a big step.
Stone. Yeah.
But it's a step. There's no such thing as a big break anymore. It's not like a old 1970s jazz club where it's like smoky and dark, and there's a record exec that happens to be in town for the night in New Orleans, and he's just sitting in the corner, and then this girl comes up and sings, and he's like,
here's $1 million.
Yeah. It don't work like that anymore. It's like there's no such thing as a big break anymore like that. It's just a bunch of small breaks with work in between. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Well, shit, dude. We covered a lot.
We did.
We'll do another one in the future, too.
Yeah, we
There's
should.
mad progress about to go down.
That's what I'm hoping for. Once I got my computer up and running, so.
Thank God. Yeah. You got to learn how to use a fucking cloud. And hard drives.
I know. I just got to and stop trusting people so much.
Well, I mean, just use hard drives.
That's the moral of the story: is don't trust people, don't like people, or have faith in humanity. It's like it counters exactly what Black with No Cream is about. It's like don't work with other people.
Yeah, don't just ignore people. Stop being in groups, private groups with people.
Don't go outside.
Don't share your ideas.
Turn your phone off.
Yeah. All right, that's a good way to end this. I appreciate it. How can people find you? How do you want to find you?
At Cal Scruby, CalScruby on everything, on Spotify especially, because even though I get like 0.0001 cent per stream, it's still important. Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, calscruby.com/merch.
SoundCloud. So are the mixtapes or whatever those like recent shit that you dropped? Is that on Spotify?
No.
Those aren't?
Because those other people's beats.
Damn, you know what? Every time I ride my booster board around town, like literally I only listen to...
I'll be killing those too.
I only listen to those.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
funny.
killing those. SoundCloud.com/Cal Scruby.
But yeah, I'll put all the links. All the links are clickable in the show notes. Just click that fucking link at the bottom and it'll take you to the Black with No Cream website and you find Cal.
Thanks, guys. Hey, I appreciate it if you guys made it to the end.
Yeah. If you made it to the end, tweet at us.
Yeah.
Both and say, what do you want them to say?
Butt cheese.
If you made it to the end, hit us up on Twitter and say butt cheese. Just hashtag butt cheese. That's a good one.
I mean, because they will only know if it won't just have my chance.
What size shirt you wear?
Medium.
I'm gonna get you a Black with No Cream shirt.
I'm gonna buy a Black with No Cream shirt.
No, I'm just gonna give it to you.
No,
appreciate
you gotta
it. Go
buy his stuff. It keeps us alive.
It really
keeps us
does.
Afloat.
It really
People
does.
don't realize that life is very expensive in Los Angeles, and we make dumb purchases.
Not even that.
Like watches.
I just bought that fucking camera so you guys could maybe see Cal better.
So I look better.
Just so you could see him. So yeah, buy some Black with No Cream merch. Anyway, that's it. I appreciate it, dog.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You're a beast.
It's fun. I love you.
Thanks, love you too, dog. All right, bye. Oh, we weren't recording.
Shut up.
I'm joking. Bye. That's it for episode number 7 with Cal Scruby. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Make sure to follow Cal on all platforms. I shared his links in the show notes, which you can find at blackwindowcream.com/podcast. Leave a review on iTunes and let me know what you loved about this interview. If you're interested in joining the Black with No Cream private group for creators, visit blackwindowcream.com/join. And last but not least, buy some motherfucking ill-ass merch. It's on the website. Every sale helps me keep this thing alive. Subscribe to Black with No Cream. New episode every Sunday. See ya next week, you bitch.